Series at the Fringe, presented by Harris Resort SoCal.
Yeah, Tori!
Start the new year off right with opening day presented by Michelob Ultra on Thursday, January 26th. Don't miss out. Visit farmersinsuranceopen.com today.
You're listening to ESPN Radio 1700.
Live from the Wiener Schnitzel Kitchen inside the Toyota Escondido studio, this is the Action Sports Show.
It's time for the Action Sports Show, powered by Toyota Escondido Action Sports, featuring Jim Holthus and Dan McGranahan. And now,
you're on, guys.
You're on, guys. We're on, guys. Folks, welcome to the Action Sports Show, powered by Toyota Escondido Action Sports. Another Supercross Super Panel right in here. We got steam flying off the Wiener Schnitzel Grill. An awesome show lined up for you tonight. Brad Gebhardt back in the house tonight. Ricky Johnson back in the house. It's been a couple minutes. He's hot. He's hot. Turn him on. Turn him on.
Not hot. There we are. I'm back.
You're back in the saddle again.
The three amigos, the three stooges, whatever you want to call us.
Right.
There's a song about that.
Jeremy McGrath back in house.
What's up? What's up?
What's going down? Dan McGranahan, Crazy Chris behind the bar, twisting the knobs, making us sound so good. Man, crazy weekend coming off of our last local West Coast swing race right up here in Anaheim too. So
great race.
All of you.
Hey,
actually.
Not all of us, but go on.
I saw you.
At the race?
Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't. You weren't there. Whoa.
Wow.
Happy birthday to your daughter. That's why you weren't there.
Oh, you had a birthday party.
Hopefully she had a happy
that's excusable.
Excusable, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
You only turn 18 once.
Yeah.
Take her to Chuck E. Cheese. Did you go?
That's a big age up in Canada, though, right?
Whack-a-mole.
It is, right?
Yeah,
Canada's drinking age.
Drinking age is 18, so it'd be a big birthday.
Yeah.
A lot of worried dads going as their daughters go off to the bar on the 18th birthday there.
We might fight after this, Brad. That's cool.
Is that where they filmed the Teen Mom?
I think so, yeah.
I think it is.
We may not wait that long.
Fair enough.
I think that's Alaska. Ding, ding.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe Alaska.
No doubt there are going to be some fireworks at tonight's show. First of all, we have two of the biggest names to ever roll through Supercross in the history of ever.
Supercross, yes,
oh,
absolutely.
Never mind.
And you know the history of ever is a long history.
A long history. I mean, of all
the name
the
among
people,
names.
I got to tell you, modern day, old time, and we've been I've been friends with both of you for quite a long time, and still every time to see you, two best of the best right here, and it's always a pleasure. So.
Well, I know RJ is my favorite rider.
Wonder Twin Powers.
And there's only one king.
Hi, I'm Chop Liver.
There you go. Chop, glad to meet you.
Hi, Chop.
Chop Liver, eh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
I'm a hot dog. That's ketchup, and that's the mustard.
We got to get the real quick report in. Of course, the New England Patriots, always something huge to hit the wire right before the show. 80% chance that Tom Brady is involved with the big win this last weekend, and Bill Belichick reported to be involved with that as well. So,
always good to hear.
Only 80% chance.
There's a high chanceability of that to be the case.
Dude, I feel stupid there again. Like, just totally right over my head.
Another quick one I want to mention: Tito Ortiz wins his last fight ever agained Chael Sonnen.
That's
choke out.
Really,
we can't guarantee that that's his last fight ever.
No, but
he'll need
enough money. He'll fight.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Anyways,
but
had to go to those two
things. Did you see the fight? Did you watch
I did
it?
not. I saw the highlight. It was like watching the last Ronda fight. I had time to go back and look at the footage.
And how was it?
So,
was it first round? What happened?
Chael took him down, and he turned the tables. You got to be careful on Tito on the ground, and literally with a ground and pound and rear naked choke and lights out. Tapped him.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Boom.
In round one.
Love it.
Round one.
Round one.
I wouldn't have seen that coming. Yeah. I thought that Tito was out of the game too long, but maybe he's been training.
Yeah.
That's why I keep saying you guys need to consider comebacks.
No. The only thing I will. Here's the chance. Here's the chance. If I get paid like $100,000 a night to make the night show
and a new wrist,
because I'm already guaranteed, because I'm past champions, I'm gonna roll down the tunnel, the gate's gonna fall, I'm gonna turn around, right back up, collect my money, and go home.
Let me get this straight, because this is a rule I was unaware of. Past champions
make the night show.
Are automatically seated in the night show.
Yep.
I remember one time, like when I was racing, like Chuck's son or somebody.
Showed
He did just that. I mean, he
That's
rolled down
amazing.
there. He rolled down there and then did exactly. I mean, he might even have been riding like a Husaberg or something crazy.
I like it.
Yeah.
Chuck is a bad dude.
To get a
So he's a way bad dude.
Did that take someone's spot when he did it too?
Well, probably, yeah. Probably
imagine so.
Mark Peters.
Yeah.
He,
Jason Thomas didn't make
Mark.
the main that night.
No,
Because of it.
JT was a lot better than that.
Yeah.
JT was always a night guy.
Yeah,
and always a main
definitely.
event guy.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it was
Sometimes
him
two
and
glasses.
Cliff Palmer, maybe the last couple spots usually.
Yeah.
What else do you get as a past champion? I know you get access to the knot hole.
You get
what else
you
do
get,
you
you I get a pass for.
Thanks, Jeremy.
I get a season pass for my family and myself. So
Okay.
I get 5 the little hard cards that don't, but they limit you where you can't go anywhere. It's a hard card, so it looks really cool. So you walk around with a hard card, but it doesn't have the right color stamps on it, so you can't go anywhere. So
What are
you
you walking around with?
You just get yelled at a hard card. Hard.
Yeah.
You walk
card,
around like what is
yeah.
it, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure or whatever.
Yeah.
They're like, I got to pass.
I got.
Or no, it's Wayne's World. That's Wayne's World.
I got
So I'm
pass,
walking
yeah.
around
Wayne's
Wayne's
World.
World.
And where does
you
that
can't
put you?
Party
Industry
time.
seating? Are you up in the box?
Yeah, it's nothing. It's nowhere, but it gets me. It gets me in all the races.
Yeah, but you got a better pass probably than that because you're working with the team now. It's probably it
No,
supersedes your past champion pass
Right. So I can
Right.
walk down the tunnel on the far left,
instead
walk
of
through the mud instead of
Yeah.
down the center,
okay, cool.
and then as
Sir.
soon as the race starts, get out.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's right. You don't want to be down there.
Nah, but
You've been
man,
down
it's
there
just it's hard.
I
Going
was
Supercross is hard.
actually at San Diego and sat just not too far from where you were sitting. Looked like you were having a good time celebrating Sonny Garcia's birthday with him.
Right. Well,
That
it's
was
just weird that Sonny was in. They were in the suite next to us. So, yeah, San Diego is always one that we have a good time. We bring our friends and no kids and kind of rally it up a little bit and have a great time. So San Diego is always fun. And yeah, it was really cool to hang out with Sonny. We actually stood there and watched the race together. So it was cool.
Yeah, you guys had a good little crew going. That's for sure. There's a lot of surf dudes there. A lot of like.
And speaking of Jeremy, I want to welcome all his fans. We're live on his Facebook page. So
What's up, you guys?
welcome Jeremy McGrath fans land to the Action Sports Show. And
Hey, you know what?
It's an official place.
Actually,
You can find it on the map.
Yeah, actually, thanks for watching because we really, due to them, these guys, they didn't give me enough warning until like 2-3 hours before we went on. So sorry for the late notice, but thanks for tuning in.
Yep, mom, dad.
Get a little bit. These maybe
Ask-
I'm gonna try and get these
you
guys
know what?
a little bit.
But
a
on
little
that
bit better.
thread, you can ask us all
Ask us
questions, and
We'll
we will
answer 'em.
respond when we can.
Make some
And Jeremy will stay up all night and answer 100% of the questions asked on.
Yeah.
one by
Absolutely.
one.
But don't ask us about anything other than the lights in the first episode.
Yeah, we're going to be focusing on. Here's how, just so you guys know, so we don't get you guys
We have a
all
little
fired up.
agenda
Like,
here, you
how
know?
come you're not talking about? We know. We will get there, but we're going to start out. We're going to talk about some of the lights. We're going to talk about what the track was like, some of that stuff, and then we're going to move our way into some very exciting fireworks that happen.
Yeah.
over the
So
weekend.
what we're gonna do, if you guys don't have time right now, in about 30 minutes we'll move into the 450 class. So 30 minutes of lights class. We might run out of stuff to talk about.
And if
in
we
the 30
do,
minutes,
we go to commercial, we come back, and it's all 450
Right.
from then
There we
on.
go.
But for those of you that are busy still, in 30 to 40 minutes,
It's on.
we should get some real good stuff.
Gauge
going
dropping.
it is on. It is
So
definitely
let's
on.
talk about the lights. I mean, MC, I'm going to ask you straight up. What do you think about Hill? I'm extremely impressed with the composure, watching him after, because I know that you do too. Is when you watch a guy after a heat race, practice, whatever, takes his helmet off and watch if he's
Yeah.
and sweating and stuff like that, and that kid's calm as ice. I'm really a big fan.
I am too. Justin's been riding super good, and we saw that 2 weeks ago in San Diego
Yep.
when he
Yeah.
really made a nice comeback. He was coming to the front. I was like, wow, okay, he's going to win soon. But what's funny is I'm not sure I would have bet on that in the beginning of the year,
Nope.
right? Because we haven't seen him. Did he ride for KTM for 2 years,
Yep.
2 seasons?
Yep.
Didn't really have a great go at it.
No.
The last time we saw him really ride good
Super
was when he rode
forgettable.
for Mitch before.
Yeah.
Right.
So obviously Justin just loving that Cowie and that combinations.
And I heard it's a 1-year contract that he does. That some people, and I don't know this.
I don't
so
know
Justin,
either.
don't get mad at me, but what I've heard
Yeah.
is that you're not a big fan of the lights. That you like the 450s.
Really?
That's what I've heard. I don't know if I'm wrong. Ping MC's Facebook page
Yeah,
and let us know that we're talking out of line. But But I have to say, I'm impressed. I've always loved the smile on the kid. He always has a great attitude, always smiling, always polite, always,
Here's the thing
respectful.
about him that I think is got to be getting under his nerves is everybody keeps talking about Forkner. Forkner's going to come out. Forkner's my pick. There's a lot of hype around Forkner, but dude, he has the speed. He has the experience. He really should be the guy up there doing
to some degree, though. I think that's probably an advantage for Hill because they're not talking about him.
Right. He's sitting back.
I mean, okay, maybe sometimes he's sitting at home going, man, what are these dudes doing? They're not talking about me. Like, I'm the man, and he's not the man. He's just the kid, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? In a certain way, he's flying right under the radar. He's able. We've seen it. We've seen him grow in the last few weeks, and his strength and his confidence is growing. I mean,
yeah, and that's the thing is that he was always kind of had I'm going to say a little guy riding style. You know, kind of a Carmichael, bound, deflecting off of stuff. And now he's more animated. He's softer on the bike. And I don't think he's using as much energy. And also when he makes a mistake, he's able to absorb some of that energy and keep moving. So, because when I watched him at first, I was like, which one is he? Because he's lost that really hard, stiff style. And he's a lot flowing a lot more. And I think that adds to confidence and everything. Because, Jeremy was the king of that, of riding and working with the bike and flowing and taking his helmet off and not being sweaty at all. I, on the other hand, was the opposite. I would sweat in 2 laps because I used every ounce.
You'd have to train a lot harder because you were a little less efficient sometimes.
Exactly.
But hey,
but you were cool.
It doesn't say that on the victory.
It doesn't
paper.
matter.
They don't ask how, they ask how many.
Right.
But
so what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Honestly, Justin Hill, I feel like this last weekend was kind of unfinished business. He was flying all day on Saturday at San Diego, and then he basically just put an exclamation point on it by taking the lead early in the main event. He set fastest lap time in qualifying, and it's easy for the media, fans, and just the industry in general to have this brand new toy named Austin Forkner, who's fast and he's good interview and he goes fast and whips the bike. But there's this other kid that's had some years in the pros. He's fit. And he's had some forgettable season on a KTM, but he didn't forget how to ride. And it's easy,
for sure.
If the spotlight's not on you, you can just go do your business and take care of business. And I think that's what you're seeing out front is that
he's not really a spotlight personality.
No, that's true too.
I think he is. I think he is total spotlight.
Adversely to that, though, all the attention might be working against Forkner because he's getting.
Yeah,
I think
are waiting on.
I don't know about what you think, but I think he can be good. He has potential. He's obviously has potential. I mean, that's kind of a dumb thing to say, but I see that he can grow into a really maybe future big bike champion, all this stuff. But right now, being the rookie he is, and there's a lot of expectation and all this stuff, you see him get in the front, and he's kind of cracks a little bit and. But those things happen. Those things happen.
Yeah, he's 18.
But yeah, he's the one that might be like, man, if the pressure wasn't on him, maybe he'd be excelling a little quicker.
Well, and also now he's going to have that motivation of having a teammate because we've all had teammates. We've had teammates that when you have a guy that's on your team going that fast, you have to chase him down. So now practice times and all different stuff. It doesn't go away after the heat race. It's like if I'm on a Yamaha and Jeremy's on a Honda and he beats me, when he goes to the Honda, that the guy who beat me goes away. But when he comes under the same tent,
you're like, okay,
you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
He's on the same bike.
You can certainly take his model and go, look, I need his model plus 20% more. I'm going to work that much harder or whatever.
Yeah.
And
you always want to be the big dog under the tent, right?
Right. And I don't know if you guys, last week in the lights race, it was crazy to watch because Forkner got the start.
Yep.
Right. And I think Martin was second
Dakota's
got the start.
I'm talking San Diego. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're talking San Diego. Dakota's was way out in front for a while, but this weekend Forkner was in front.
Right.
Davalos second.
Yep.
And third was Hill. But in like one corner, I think it was 1.5 laps into the race.
Yeah.
First and third, they switched positions, first and third.
Right.
So it was kind of like a wild pass. I was like, you don't usually see that happen, right? Because I think Davalos tried to get Forkner, and then Hill snuck by them both.
Right.
And then, but that was pretty wild.
Speaking with Austin after the race, he had mentioned that he feels like sometimes these older guys, like, I don't know, take some liberties, but they definitely don't treat him any kinder. That he's a young guy. He maybe feels like they race him a little harder. I don't know if that's just his perception, but
that's his perception.
Yeah, I think he's like, they're not very nice to me.
Davalos runs into everybody. All right, he's not prejudiced. He's not picking on the young guy. Same thing like he's the equivalent to Barsha to me.
He's an equal opportunity enforcer.
Well, no, he'll run into you. He doesn't care who you are, and he's going to stick his nose straight up the inside, no matter how far back he is. That's just the way he rides. And I admire it to a certain extent. I would hate it to race against it because you're always waiting to get your leg run over.
It's true.
This is one of the funniest comics I saw in the day.
I saw that.
Donald Trump's going to send.
Saying, I will move Martin Davalos to the 450 class as well.
And Martin even reposted
I
that.
reposted Martin's. Yeah, that's great.
I saw that. That was pretty classic.
At least he's got a sense of humor about it all.
Right?
And then
Is he 45?
And then what about our singer, Plessinger?
Well, you know what? This is he's had an average qualifying of around 4. Qualified first. And got to start second place and finish second place, so a nice solid run out of Aaron Plessinger.
But he was kind of dictating. Well, now I'm getting the starts. These guys, I'm going to come after them and chase them down at the end of the race. There was nobody chasing down Justin Hill.
Correct.
No,
I mean he kept him honest. If Justin had bobbled, he could have.
If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. So that don't count.
Yeah, no, seriously, like it was a bit of a humble pie for a guy who was basically like he exuded the confidence of someone who could run these guys down with the opportunity.
Right.
The opportunity was there, no running down.
But what I like is that there's
I don't
different guys, McGrath, which I've got to say his name right because during Straight Rhythm I was told 2 different things, McElrath and Mackel. So they say McElrath, so that's what I'm sticking with.
Okay. I thought it was Mackerel Wrath.
Yeah, don't do that. My head's too small. I'll start messing it up. Leave it alone.
Shane,
impressed with him.
Yeah,
that guy is so solid. He reminds me kind of a LaRocco or whatever, but with a lot better starts and a little more flair.
Yeah,
but he's kind of a LaRocco guy. He's so steady, so steady, so solid, and a great guy. Just always good. Once again, a lot of great young men in the Lights program.
For sure.
Well, I mean, getting back to Plessinger, I think Plessinger's seems to be a pretty smart, mature rider. He wasn't. We see the strength out of him on lap 15 each week, right? I mean, he runs real good all the way to the end.
Yep.
And I think this weekend, Hill couldn't catch him.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, okay, cool. I'm just going to get second, and that's how you win championships, right? I mean, on your best days, you take advantage of it. On days it's not going to happen, you don't. So, I think Plessinger's waiting for the moment. He's definitely strong. We know that.
If you had to bank on one person for a championship this year, you're still going to bank on Shane. If you have to bank on the second person, I think Plessinger's that guy.
Yeah,
at
absolutely.
This point.
And when you see Aaron Plessinger, you can tell that he's grown up in a household where there was professional motocross or outdoor off-road.
So, with that being said, sorry to cut you off. Are you done? I didn't
go for it, man.
I was just thinking,
you are now the king.
Would you?
I'm not cutting the king of Supercross off.
Would you really? You'd be betting on Shane for the championship?
At this point, I think the numbers dictate that.
I'm betting on Plessinger
a lot
at this
about
point.
the way
I
he's
think
raced.
Plessinger is equally as strong.
I agree. It's very, very close. But Shane has won 2 in a row, and he got third and still ended on the podium in the third race.
Yeah, he did well.
If you just add the numbers up, if you play the odds makers, and if you look at the fact that he dominated 2 races in a row and got on a podium, you have to put him in that position.
But
my thought originally started with, I feel like Plessinger is on track for a championship. That's where he's headed. But then I had to check myself because of the results that Shane has put on.
I think it's very much in the air.
Aaron's had nice finishing results too with not nice starts. He's been blasting by dudes the whole race and getting up there. This time he got a good start and he held second place. I mean,
the fact that he didn't have good starts actually doesn't weigh in his favor for it. It actually weighs against him because it says he's not getting good starts.
Think
it's not an excuse.
This weekend's track, I don't know about what you guys thought about this weekend's track, but to me, I mean, it looked like I don't know what you call it. It looked like a barber pole. There's so many turns and I was
thinking more like a cinnamon roll, but
cinnamon roll. There you go.
I thought
cinnamon roll.
I thought toilet bowl to be.
Yeah, there you go. Cinnamon roll. That's exactly what I was looking for, actually.
Look where our heads are. He's thinking about taking a dump. You're getting a haircut, and I want a donut.
The world's a different place.
Some things don't change, bro.
But
I love it.
No,
I like cinnamon rolls, by the way. And I like haircuts.
There you go.
Hey, everybody likes your shoes, Jeremy.
Oh, thank
Number
you.
23s, man, going down.
Got some old Jordans on today. I wore my best rap gear today. I was actually in my shop today working on my bike.
So stand up, real
getting
quick,
ready
Jeremy.
for a sweet churro ride. These are the kind of short pants that RJ used to wear.
Yeah.
Jeremy walks on set,
MC
and I'm
Hammer,
like,
bro.
"Wow, dude, you're killing it!" And he's like, "No, this is what RJ used
These
to
are the
wear," and he would
hammers.
Let's get
sag
it
'em.
started, man. That's
Yeah.
Dude,
Remember,
what's great
these
about
are
those?
Zubas.
These are the JoJo for your bobos.
that's right.
Dude,
Remember
the
those?
big,
You
the big
remember
hammer
those?
pants were
Yep,
great
the
because
JoJos.
they were so big you could like set your meal. You wouldn't even need a TV tray.
Yeah.
You could just put it right there.
If we could have only tuned in earlier, you would have seen Dan doing the hammer across the floor here.
That's right.
Go Hammer.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Thanks. I mean, stoked with
I
my
think
Jordans.
you're totally on the right track with obviously you made your favorite for the championship the points leader, so you made a bold prediction there.
Thank you.
But I still think that like on raw speed wise, as far as like you were talking about your top 3 guys and consistency as well, I think you got to give it to Brett Plessinger, and I think by the time 9 rounds is done, he'll be at the top.
I think that's a very reasonable prediction as well.
I think all of your stuff is reasonable because if Plessinger keeps getting bad starts and Shane keeps getting good starts,
I mean,
then we're going to see it play out like Dan said.
Yeah.
However, this weekend's track, I don't think it was a track that you can really make judgments on because if you did get a good start, you could stay up there, it seems, because it had so many turns. We didn't see a lot of like mixing it up.
No offense to Davey Millsaps, but he won a heat race.
Right, and San Diego, which we saw 2 weeks ago, we saw that track was super technical. We saw the guys come up that were strong, where the cream will rise to the top. This weekend, I think, is really hard to tell. You know, the track was kind of funky.
But I think part of it was, and Jeremy, you can chime in on this, is when you have a week like that and you see how much it rains and it messes up your training schedule and all the things you're doing, you kind of get ready for a mud race. In your mind, like you get into survival mode and how am I going to do this? What am I going to do? How am I going to prepare for it? And then you go there and it's not.
Well, it was raining in the lights.
How in the heck we got a dry race out of that was amazing.
I think
right?
they just built that thing on Wednesday and then sealed it shut, and the rain came. But
no, I have to, and hats off to Feld. And those
hats
guys,
off to Dirtworks.
Dirtworks, yeah.
Those boys were
the white
pumping that much water out of
from Japan, bro.
Right, dude. That's a lot of work to get that stuff. And once they get all the dirt in the stadiums, there's only a certain amount of drains, right?
Right.
So the way the track's built, it floods up. And I mean, I was talking to Meninga on Dirtworks, and he said, "Look, we were pumping water, this much water every day." And what they ended up doing is they took the plastic out of the corners because when you have the plastic over the top, it allows the water to just sit there, right? So then it soaks through the 8-10 inches of floor of dirt they have, and then you have mud all the time. So what they did is they dug some trenches, took the plastic off, let it rain. I mean, it was raining like crazy, and then they ran the water out in the channels and pumped all the water out, and then that way at least it wouldn't soak through the whole 10-12 inches of. And man, like you said, they did
Dude, there was
they did a great job.
The LA riverbed and the parking lot was all like boats going by. There was people wakeboarding on the 101 in Encinitas. I don't know if you saw that.
True
video.
story. I'm with the guy today.
I didn't see that, but
I'm
that's
with the
pretty
guy
amazing.
today who works for Lake Elsinore. That thing went up 9 feet.
Wow.
No, that's what I said.
The finger over there where the water ski is like almost full again.
Right. So the whole Lake Elsinore, raised 9 feet.
Everyone's got edgeless pools.
Exactly. It's
No
like
kidding.
just fill to the rim.
So probably the Lake Elsinore Supercross track isn't happening right now.
No, it's all right. Well, I don't know.
Tomorrow.
I can tell you the Lake
bro,
Elsinore
no.
off-road track right now is definitely not happening.
It's a jet ski race.
Yeah, we're going
gonna
jet
bring back
skiing over
slushy.
there.
You know how Lake Elsinore gets when there's water on it, it turns into like baby slime.
Oh, but I mean,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
so much water over there. It's the
ridiculous.
Supercross track's probably fine because they built it up, but everywhere else over there is that much
It's
water.
Done.
All the guys that I think need mentioning is I was so impressed with Dakota's how his speed at San Diego when he took off.
Right?
Like I was like, holy cow! You know,
We hadn't seen that before.
No,
Shot him out of a cannon.
No, yeah, and he was gone, but he held his breath a little bit and
Yeah.
shot his whatever, and he ran out of gas. But you know what though? For a young kid, you have to do that.
How old is Dakota's?
That's
a great
not very
question.
young.
He's not one of the younger ones.
He's been in there for a while. I think.
Probably
Yeah, I think
23.
he's 20.
Is he?
At least 24,
Well, let
25,
me put
I
it
think.
this way: when you're climbing the ladder and trying to get to the top, you go through phases, and you sometimes, for me,
Some people
you
get
to
it later.
You get to a point, and you're like, you level off on speed, and then all of a sudden, then your fitness catches up to you. Then you have a breakthrough in speed, which he had. So if he can embrace that, and then bring that
Right,
intensity to his
right.
training and stuff like that.
Take the fitness back
To
up to
bring
the
the
new level
fitness
of
back
speed.
up to there, you're going to have someone to deal with because he was on the gas at the beginning. But hey, he ran out of gas.
That was
it's all happened.
that was in San Diego this
Yeah.
weekend. We didn't really see a whole lot of
No.
him. He was sixth.
Right.
So,
But started fifth, another good start, and just stayed there though. Like
Didn't go forward, didn't go backwards
Yeah.
really, you know.
by the way, he's pretty young compared to Davila. So
Yes,
I think he's
He was
got the
always that
benchmark.
kid
he's
to
not
me
in
that
his 30s.
was just like never scared. Like he would just seat bounce
Dakotas?
something
Oh,
at the
yeah.
last second.
Dakota's he'll jump a quad that 450s won't even look at. It's the dumbest thing.
Yeah,
he just sends it.
he sends.
He actually rode one of my bikes
He
back in
absolutely
back
sends it.
home.
No way.
And yeah, won six pro motos in a row.
Oh,
45
wow.
second lead.
models in a row.
Yeah, eh?
Roll.
Yeah, yeah, I love it.
But no, he's
Hey,
he's
no
one
way.
of those guys.
That's Jimmy Dakotas out there on Brad's 125. Eh?
He'd take off, eh? But no, in all seriousness, you don't see a lot of guys that kind of change their spots, and in a way, he still does all of the great things that he used to do. Is like be super fast, good starter, but he's matured over these years and actually makes a lot of his racecraft has gone up huge.
Yeah.
And
well, you see flashes out of him for sure.
Totally.
Dakotas?
Yeah.
Where's he from?
Peabody, Massachusetts.
Oh, he's a mass guy. He's
Yeah.
a mass hole.
Masshole.
Oh,
Looked up to
nice.
Barry Carson back in the day.
That's right.
Awesome. Hey, so
Yeah,
what
Scotty
happened to
Cata.
Martin this weekend?
Crashed with Nicoletti off the start. The two of them were
Oh,
on the
that's
ground
right.
hanging out together.
Yeah, that's right. I did
Yeah,
rewatch
they were
that.
Martin
yelling at
cannot
each
buy
other.
a break.
Martin got up quite a bit quicker, I think, than Nicoletti, didn't he?
Yeah, a little bit quicker.
Nicoletti looked slow to his bike.
Yeah, I think he was trying to like throw it off the track.
Right,
He's
just-
very upset.
I like
Angry
the Martin boys. I got to hang out with Alex over at Tenacious and stuff like
Nice
that. And
kids.
his wife, yeah, nice kids, and Alex's wife was a sweetheart. And it's funny because now we live up in La Cresta, and I see all these guys bicycling
Training and
all the
riding
time.
by the house.
Yeah, so they go by. I'm in my van there on their bike training, and like always.
Yeah,
I
just
got
like you used to
I
do.
got my grande.
Someone
latte.
used to drive by you down here in El Calm, and you were hustling up those hills and doing all
And
that.
I'm like, keep that up, guys. Looks fun.
Yeah.
See you later.
Well, at
But,
least you know the feeling.
Yeah, I know the feeling, and I respect it. And it's great because it kind of it has the feel of El Cajon because everybody, Brock, we didn't see Lachine, but Burnworth, we saw a lot of guys training and going around town, and so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
To see all the guys
I
training
mean,
up there.
yeah, La Cresta, those guys, we've been training up there for years. I mean, that's a good spot. Real nice.
Talk about Hanny for a minute.
I didn't even
His
see him this
invisibility cloak?
Yeah.
Is that what you want to talk about?
Yeah, I didn't see him this weekend.
All black bike means you don't see him out there whatsoever? That's kind of cool.
I guess.
I like
you know.
the commercial with this little girl eating nuts.
Very nice.
Eating
Yes.
the almonds.
That's the only time I saw him all night.
Huh.
But in all seriousness, like a guy who not that long ago was challenging for wins, a very workman-like style race, and got 9th, and I think started somewhere near 9th.
Yeah,
and,
just kind of hovered about right on
yep.
it.
Yeah, started 11th and
What
worked
was
his way
that
back to
dude's
11th.
name in Winners Take All that had all black on?
Oh,
Scott Burnsworth.
No, I know, but
and
no,
it's
it was like
and it's
the actor
Burnworth.
name.
There's no
Burnworth,
S.
sorry.
Everybody does that. They painted a trailer
Burnworth.
that says Scott Burnsworth,
That's
and they were
awesome.
so pissed because
By accident or on purpose?
just
Yeah.
Here's the
Scott
thing with
Burnworth.
Hanny.
Hanny just needs a
Hanny is
450.
look at the situation here. Hanny
He
gets
needs to
9th,
nut up
right?
and go 450s.
Here's the thing. Hanny gets 9th. Every person in front of him, Bowers, who's on the 5150 team, Reardon,
Reardon,
Yep.
yeah.
on the Star team, Dakotas on the Geico team, Davalos on the Husky team, Faulkner on PC, McGrath on KTM, Plessinger on Star, Justin Hill on PC. All
I mean,
those
it's a-
guys have 100 people working for them.
That's true.
True.
Hanny
And
has
then
Andy
Hanny has
Backen
Hanny
and Andy Backen.
and Andy Backen. Backen's my boy. We go way back. Love him.
I think,
But
I
he's
creeped him
not
out
the
during
same
triathlon.
as having your entire PC program behind you. Like, take into consideration what he's up against.
well,
I think he
well,
just
hold
doesn't
it.
have a lot of time on the bike, honestly.
Well, okay. How come he can go out and practice and be top 5 in practice, but then he's not top 5 in the race? So that just comes down to hard.
Well,
I love
I agree, but
Josh Hansen. I've been a fan of his, and I've wanted him to win
And
and be on
his
top.
style's sick.
So
He's
bad.
a good
Yeah.
rider.
He's so much fun to watch. All the different stuff.
He's okay.
But some guys don't like that day-to-day grind.
No.
They don't. I didn't.
Well, that's
I
the
didn't
difference,
I
not
didn't
the
love
race
it, but I
day.
dealt with it.
Not just what the difference is at the race day, but it's all the testing
Yeah.
and whatnot that happens in the weeks leading up to it.
Well, just sweating
You know.
and putting yourself in a painful anaerobic
You didn't want to be
state.
average.
Yeah.
Neither did I. I don't want to be average.
Right. I want to. So I'm going to hurt Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so I can not be a.
Well, we did have Rhino on the
average.
show about it. We had Rhino on the show about a
Average.
week or so ago, and he did make a comment about Hanny calling him up and saying, "Hey, dude, Supercross is around the corner, and I need to start training."
2 weeks ago,
and it was like December 25th.
2
or
weeks
something
ago.
like that.
yeah,
Before
seriously,
the. Oh my god.
the Wednesday before A1, he's like, "Hey, can I get some of that fitness?"
I like some of that. How do I get
Yeah.
that?
Get some fitness.
Yeah.
Telling
So,
Hollywood on that.
so
But you're right. That is a pretty mix of some powerhouse riders and teams that are above him. So it's not like
let's give a shout out to Hollywood, who has been texting with Jeremy here.
Come on, Hollywood, get it
Yeah.
on. It's
What's
AM
going on,
1700, dude.
Figure it out.
Get it
Figure
on.
it out. Log into the Facebook.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Make some
Say-
comments.
Is that
Every
Jim
Hollywood
No.
photo, every Hollywood photo.
Throw the Hollywood.
We did the Hollywood.
Oh,
What's up?
It's a friend of ours named
Rip
Scott.
yeah. I know Scott.
Acquaintance. Don't go.
I'm gonna go with friend.
You're going friend.
Yeah,
He's
no,
a friend.
I know Scott and his
Friend,
his
business
pose when he's in
associate.
Spain.
He's been like deep in Jeremy's career.
Still friend. I don't know.
Still friend. Yeah, he's a
Mostly
friend.
friend at this
I'm
point.
just
Definitely.
doing this so I get a call back and a text going, bro,
Bro.
I've known you forever.
I know.
And his dad.
Why would you say that?
That is cool. I went back there, like in 19.
You knew Rip Rock before me.
Before he was even Rip Rock. He was still Scott Sapkovic.
Yeah.
And so I go back to David
Deltona,
Combs. Yeah.
back in
back
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvany.
Yeah.
And,
we need to have Scott come on and give us the whole real.
Well, he
behind-the-scenes
could
on
just stand here and
J-Law,
do his own
right?
deal.
We need to get the behind the scenes on the J-Law
That book
journey.
will never
That-
come out. It
That book will never be
I
written.
don't
The
think
truth,
that-
the truth will never come out.
That book will never.
But anyway, so you'll get a kick out of this. So his
The
his
J-Law
dad,
Chronicles.
when in
Chronic
1983,
something.
I became a Christian, and I, said it publicly that I was a Christian and stuff. And I go over and meet Scott's dad. You met Scott's dad, right?
I think I met him a long
So he's like
time
this
ago.
hardcore. He's like the Navy guy, tattoo. I think he's Navy. Forgive me if he's a Marine or whatever. But anyhow, I walk in.
Military guy.
He walks in. He like grabs me and sits me down at the kitchen table. Says, "You're a Christian? Well, I want to talk to you about it." And just like, I mean, didn't crucify me, but just nail me with, "Okay, well, let's talk about this, talk about that." And Scott's over there going, "Dad, leave him alone, leave him alone." And he's like, "No, man claims he's friends with the
Let's
Lord. I
talk about
want
it."
to know."
Yeah.
So, Mr. Sapkovic, if you're listening, I doubt it, but if you're listening, keep up the good work. You've always been a hero of mine. I know you were going through a little bit of a health situation, but
He
thank you
got you
for
on
your
there. He scared
encouragement.
you straight, son.
Scared me straight. I was
That's
like
funny.
ready to go.
Okay, so somebody said something about they don't call it the lights class anymore. I keep referring to it as the
125.
lights class.
What
are we referring
What do you call
to
it?
this
250
as?
class?
Are they officially?
doesn't
the
sound
150
right to
class?
be
Buck and a
250.
quarter, tiddler glass. What are you gonna
What is it?
Pee wee,
do? Yeah.
Pee-wee.
Stepping
T-ball.
stone.
T-ball.
T-ball.
No,
Yeah.
I
The
honestly,
over 30 club.
So
The
my-
underclassmen,
my opinion is that,
Junior varsity?
the 250s
JV
are
team.
awesome. The 450s suck. They're too fast. They're too explosive. They don't stop well. They don't corner as agile. I would love to see all of these
Just
guys.
throw it out there, RJ.
I
Go for it.
did. I keep saying for the Monster Cup.
450s suck. Huh?
I do. They do. They're too. Well, that's why didn't we ride 500s in
Right.
in Supercross, because they're too big. 250s were the right bike.
But you guys were scared back then. The boys today aren't scared. Like they were
Roger
back
DeCosta was not scared.
Shots fired.
Roger DeCosta was not
Okay,
scared.
no, that was an air cooled 500.
Hey,
that
you want to
he-
go talk to Bob Hanna about that?
Yeah,
He might have something to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He might have something to say with you saying he was
reread
scared.
your words there.
Yeah.
Man,
I-
Hannah, RJ, those
listen,
guys were all
I
scared.
love 450s. Don't
To
get me
ride.
wrong.
I love
Super
riding.
fun. But I might agree with you on sizing. But I also don't like 252 stroke. Have you ridden one lately?
No, they suck.
They're so fun. It's so
Last-
fun, but
last
it's like
Wednesday.
riding a Z50 or something.
Because it
it's,
stops so easy. And,
well, no, they're awesome. They're just really slow because our,
Right.
obviously our bar is set so high now.
right.
It would be pretty neat, but I talk about this with Derek at Cowie,
Mhm.
and we go, all right, cool. What are we going to do to fix the Supercross, right? Because obviously we all know the 450s have so much power.
Mhm.
They've sort of outgrown most of
Supercross.
the stadium floor
Oh,
size,
for
right?
sure.
I mean,
No, they
when
go 100 yards and they touch the ground twice. Like that.
when you can turn the corner and just put it in first gear and seat balance 80 feet,
With no clutch because it's fuel injected.
right? You can just jump anything. I think we sort of need to look ahead a little bit, and not
It's pretty gnarly. I think you can only go 75. And
the one,
just to clarify.
Nope.
The one thing that
on a 250 last year, Joey Savacci was doing those, like when his shifter broke, he was doing Supercross triples, 75 feet first gear.
Yeah, 75. But
see,
not
the
80.
one thing that I don't like so much now is the fact that the bikes are so big, and you probably experienced this riding open class.
Yep.
The guys don't want to battle as much.
No, you
they
can't.
don't. You can't battle because it's just too risky. So you don't, which in turn is exactly what you said. The 250 class or light class, the guys scrap it out, and that's what we want to see as fans. That's what we want to see. So what would we? Someone asked me. I mean, me and Derek talked about it at Cowie. He's like, "What do you suggest? What would we suggest?" I think 250 two-stroke is good, but it's too slow. I think so. We need like a 300 two-stroke.
Yeah, or a fuel injected.
Say a 300 two-stroke.
Arena cross, they went to 250s for the main class, and did the racing get worse?
You guys are crazy.
The problem with the four-stroke is fine. I agree with you. It's fine, but there's a big gap between the medium working man guy and the factory Cowie pro circuit racer. Right. Because the engines cost so much.
Oh yeah.
Which you remember in two strokes you can do a lot more with the engine. That's
way better.
You can compete with other guys.
Hey,
with a lot less money.
Let's take a quick break and let's come back and let's shift gears.
We're gonna do
450. It's time.
It's time.
I don't know. I'm not ready yet.
We're doing a Jeremy signature heel shift off the start.
Our one and only
I thought we were
break.
going to talk about Ryan Surratt, Willie Surratt's kid, making the main event for the very first time.
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
Time for a break.
We just did. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Glad you brought that up.
We're going to take our quick little break. When we come back, it's 450 time. The Action Sports Show powered by Toyota Escondido. Don't go away.
It'll rock your brain. You're good. Take money for your shame. And we're all the time. What can you do? One name you should know. The best place you can go. Toyota of Escondido.
It's true. The best new cars make the best used cars. And Toyota of Escondido is once again #1 in Toyota certified used cars and trucks. Feel confident driving with the peace of mind of a 160-point inspection and Carfax report.
Toyota of Escondido. Toyota of Escondido.
You also get a 12-month or 12,000-mile comprehensive warranty from certified purchase date, plus a 7-year or 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty from original date of sale when new. Please ask for complete warranty details. Toyota certified sales leader for San Diego County for 2014.
Hooligan and Pro Flat Track Racing returns to Del Mar this Saturday night and Sunday afternoon. Harleys and Indians fight for the top spot in a brawl at the Bull Ring. IVLFT.com for details. Racing starts at 7 p.m. Saturday and 1 p.m. on Sunday. That's IVLFT.com. Catch the Action Sports Show powered by Toyota of Escondido Tuesday, 6 p.m. on ESPN 1700, featuring Jim Holthus, the host, and the Agent Dan McGranahan. Get fired up by amazing guests from the world of action sports, such as Supercross star Cooper Webb, UFC title contender Dominic Cruz, FMX superstar Robbie Madison, surfer Tori Meister, musician Graham Nancaro, and more. The Action Sports Show brings you the biggest names in the action sports world. Tune in every Tuesday, 6 p.m. on ESPN 1700.
This is Shannon Campbell.
Hi, this is Walker Evans.
Big Daddy here.
This is Jeremy McGrath.
Hello, this is Jay Leno.
This is Mario Andretti.
This is Carl Renazetter. This is Rick Dale with Rick's Restorations.
This is Paul Tracy.
Hey, this is Sonny Garcia.
This is Trigger Gum, Daredevil.
My name is Paul Thacker.
Robbie Gordon here. This is Ryan Arciero of Arciero Miller Racing.
I'm Ryan Friedlinghaus, CEO of West Coast Customs.
This is Kerry Hart.
Hey, I'm Tanner Faust.
Travis Pastrana here from Nitro Circuit, and you're listening to the Action Sports Show.
You're on, guys.
Yeah. All right, folks, welcome back to the Action Sports Show powered by Toyota Escondido Action Sports. And welcome everybody out on Jeremy McGrath's Facebook. They're all watching, and I see you posting a bunch of questions and whatnot, and we're going to get to everything we can. We're switching gears, going to the 450 class right now. So whatever you want to talk about, hit us all up here, and we'll be trying to monitor them. Hey, if you're on the actionsportshow.com, don't forget to follow our social media at TE Action Sports. That's at TE Action Sports. And you can also subscribe to the podcast while you're on there too. But hey, we are back.
There you go.
450 time, guys.
Big boys.
Man, geez, I wish there was just something to talk about in this class. Are you kidding me? Man.
Oh, man.
Where do you want to start?
Dude.
Where do you want to start?
Well, let's talk about Eli Tomac.
Eli Tomac, the guy with the big monster claw on the side of his bike.
What's going on?
Radio check here.
Well,
back up. We got to start. We got to start with Malcolm Stewart.
I'm down with that.
Ooh,
You know what?
Because you know
That's
what?
a good idea.
I got to say,
good idea.
Homeboy came out and ripped in the heat race, going really fast. It was great to see him and Big James running around. And of course, I asked Big James, "Hey, so is James coming up?" Yep. That's it. I go, thanks for being so specific.
You know,
what I mean?
it's been an awesome talk.
I'm sure that was
Yeah.
like the
Thank you.
100th or 1,000th time he probably got
I
that
asked that
day.
same
question.
question. So
Yeah.
But I got to give it to Malcolm because he didn't get much test time. I heard that he got the bike late and barely got to ride it. But man, he was on it and fast and
Kid's
qualified
talented.
third?
Kid's talented.
well. But he,
inside the top 10, but
yeah, he
not
was, I
third.
don't know if he was third, but he was riding fast.
qualify that
and-
out of the heat race. Yeah,
yeah. I think you're talking qualifying.
You're thinking like daytime qualifying. He was 10th in the daytime qualifying, but yeah,
Which
out of
is
the
still
heat race,
great.
looked awesome.
Yeah, was
like he's got 8 laps in him all day long.
well passing and doing stuff, and he's on that Suzuki that everyone's claiming is not that great, and did an awesome job. Represented himself, his family, and it's great to see him back because everyone was talking, God, why aren't they back? Why aren't they back? So good to see.
I know when
Malcolm back
Dan and
there.
I went up to Friday in the tornadoes that were going on, it was really exciting once we got there to see
Torrential.
Malcolm's semi out there. It was like kind of a perk. That's pretty cool, huh? Remember?
It was big old 7 on the side of it.
Yeah.
Right 365 stepping up, company
Yep.
out of Oklahoma.
What is that?
Really cool guy
It's
out of Oklahoma
online.
that started like a online retail. And,
Yeah,
Brett Q rides for him too.
yeah,
Yep.
Brett
They make
Q
some
people.
gear and some things like that.
yeah. They've got.
I think
But
it's
I think they use the
internet
gear more.
company.
It's like kind of a upstart of like kind of like a BTO or
Right.
a Rocky Mountain, and like Chris Crossland's the owner of that or a part owner of it anyway, and basically gave Malcolm a transport for the racers.
Chris Crossland was the guy that had a Honda team last year, and
Yeah,
Guy
Crossland
Cooper was
Racing.
the manager of
That's
it.
right.
Remember
with
that?
Freddie Noren and
Yeah.
they had a couple other guys. Yeah.
Yep.
It was Kyle Peters.
So yeah, Malcolm, great to see you back. It was.
Yeah, it
And he
was.
did-
It
and he
was nice
wasn't-
having him out there.
And
Tons of buzz around
he
it, too.
wasn't harpooning people. He came into some aggressive inside moves, but he positioned himself before he got there, held the position, and wasn't just taking people's wheel out from underneath.
He
him.
wasn't,
So-
and he wasn't scared. He was racing with those guys. It
Right.
was, it's not
He
like,
was
hey,
not
I'm going to warm
scared.
up to this. He came in to race. It was
Exactly.
great. It was cool to
Yeah.
watch.
He's
So-
got a very interesting riding style. And nothing negative about it. I like it very much, but just a bigger guy, clearly bigger than most of the other people on the track.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just the leg
dreadlocks.
trunks, all that
Dreadlocks.
shows.
Yeah, he doesn't look skinny in the
He's
compression
always
gear.
been real strong in his body. You know,
It's-
thick, strong.
He doesn't
Yeah.
move around a ton on the bike like maybe James does. James moves around.
I think he does.
on the
I
bike
think
when
I
he
think he
throws
moves
it
around a
around.
little bit more because
think so?
yeah, because he's more animated.
Yeah,
he's got
James
more
is just
mass
more
to
over the
move.
front.
He can
Yeah.
manhandle that bike though.
Yeah.
He's got plenty
Yeah,
of power.
I felt like he was very
Smooth.
Yeah, very very sort of stable on the bike, and maybe that's just because it's his first race sort of back at it, and we'll see that begin to really stand out. But to me, it just wasn't standing out like he was moving around. But I have no problem with that
The thing
because he was
about that-
moving fast. He had to conserve energy because he's not in the peak of race fitness right now. There's no way for him to.
No,
be.
he's not. But as Jeremy said, he came to race, and you got to think about it. By the time guys get to Anaheim 2, third round, they've already gotten the bugs out. They've
Yeah.
figured out their suspension. They know
Yep.
they're in their game. And for
Yeah.
him to just show up
And be
and
competitive.
be competitive is unbelievable.
That was
I
cool.
think
It really is unbelievable.
I mean, it's hard to gain that much fitness in that much time, but I think there's a good chance for him to win, to pull out a win.
I think
Well-
after the turn of events, there is a much better chance for him to win.
It depends. I mean, how much has he been working at home? We've been seeing videos, I think, of them riding,
Right.
or at least Malcolm. I'm not sure James, but he's been doing motos. I think they were riding Yamahas, weren't they?
Yeah, I think they definitely these guys do spend a lot of time on two wheels, necessarily whether or not it was on a
Motos
Suzuki.
or not, yeah.
Yeah, is another thing. But I think he's somewhat sharp and like he's not forgotten how to ride a motorcycle.
He's another guy that's really talented and efficiency's okay. You know, he can get away with maybe a little bit more than someone that's not as smooth and stuff. The guy's got great bike skill. I mean,
for sure.
And he rode great. So I thought that was cool. He got good starts.
Definitely.
And
And
I think you're right. I'm not sure. You know, I don't know about a win. That's pretty tall order, but I'm sure he can compete. He can compete at the front.
If he gets a hole shot and certain people aren't there, and he can build a gap, and find some places to relax and stuff like that. Like I said, it's good as his fitness.
And I'm sure
grows.
that would be a few weeks down the line.
Yeah. But nonetheless, we're kind of being redundant here.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Regardless, great
I
first
believe the
weekend,
hype.
yeah.
He hauled ass. He rode great.
Yeah, he did. His semi looked good too.
Yeah, it did, right?
Too bad they had to bring it out in the rain, huh?
Yeah, let's talk about Davey Millsaps and Blake Baggett on the getting 1-2 and celebrate with each other after the heat race win. That was pretty strong.
Yeah, Baggett was just in tow, basically.
Forrest Butler was
I
pumped.
wasn't sure if he was going to be able to pull on him or what, but he just kind of they stayed about that same 3-4 bike length.
Well, I honestly think well, that was great, by the way.
Way
The
better
team
start.
looking good. Here, you know what? Going back to earlier, the track being kind of a funky design like that, you had to almost be like a total dick to pass people. You know what I mean? So, in my mind, Baggett was probably a little bit quicker than Millsaps in that race because you see him through the whoops. He would reel him in big time. However, he just didn't want to be a jerk to his teammate, I'm sure, and especially after last week, he looped out. I mean, he's probably trying to gain some momentum back, and that was a great heat race.
Well, both the first two rounds have been terrible for Blake with the crash in the first race and then the loop out that the whole world shared.
Oh my gosh!
So now he's trying to get.
You were standing right there. I was in the suite right next to you. Were you blown away at that moment?
Well, it was so funny because my friend had his girlfriend there with him, and she's like, "Hey, I'm going to record the start right here," and just turned the phone on to record, and just they were right in front of us.
Yeah,
filmed the whole loop out.
Oh, it's
like,
awesome.
Did you see before the
one in
gate
a
fell?
million? Yeah, he was spinning his tire.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he was screwing the whole thing up for sure, obviously, and it didn't end well. But
clutch error.
Just lucky to get
less
get the
than
thing
well.
on. Yeah,
that's an understatement.
Crazy.
And Blake being all of like 140 pounds on a 450 with a spinning back tire, that's just bad news.
Okay, there's a guy named Jeremy McGrath who is annoying everybody on your Facebook right now, responding as you, and really mad at us for not recognizing him. So, Jeremy, we're happy you're on
Thanks,
Facebook.
Jeremy.
And we got plenty of time. We're going to be getting to any of your comments and questions. Jeremy here is excited to have a twin with the same name as him. So there's a shout out for you. Special
Serious
shout
form
out.
of flattery right there, I guess.
Hey.
San Diego boy.
Yeah.
Talk to your new truck builder. That thing's gonna be badass.
Let's talk about the another number 2 is Cooper Webb coming out of his shell.
Do we want to talk about that, Dan? I think the last time I was here, I think Dan told me Cooper was going to win by, I think, round 3.
Oh, well, you haven't been here a while because I've been actually pretty rough on old Coop. Not rough on him, but I basically
Things
feel
change
like,
in a hurry, RJ.
Yeah. I basically feel like
Supercross.
Keep
Got me
on.
ready.
Yeah.
My job is to stir the pot and let you guys run.
But I would agree
So-
that Cooper Webb was kind of a breakout weekend for him, I think.
Totally.
I think he rode a
From
lot
what we saw
better.
the first 2 weeks, I think this was a super
Huge
success.
I think for us, this is probably where we all expect him to be at round 1.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he was fast in practice.
Yep.
Bike looked much better. I'm not sure they probably went and tested.
Great
although
start.
I don't know where
Where?
because it was raining so bad.
Great start.
Confident. Good start. And he was decent in time practice, right? I think he was.
Yeah, he was.
I don't know what he was, but
At one point, at the fastest time. So
yeah, he wasn't
you
bad.
had to get knocked off the top of the board anytime you're there.
Right.
You've shown some speed.
Yeah, right. And he got knocked off by Eli, which
Who was railing?
he looked
Yeah,
great in practice
he
too.
did.
So I don't know. It's all confusing. Cooper went from racing here to racing here, and then Eli started here and came here. So.
I didn't expect Cooper to come out of his shell this quickly. I was prepared to kind of walk this path as a fan of Cooper's for another. Well, I take
After
this-
seeing him ride.
I wish I
Is
could
Dan
cuss
here?
on this show. I wish I could cuss because if I had a flag right now, I would throw the BS flag at him so bad.
Can we get that?
My theory is
Jim, can we get some rewound clips?
If
from a
anyone
few
finds
shows back?
Dan McGranahan
Chris?
walking the streets, I don't know who this is.
No,
Right.
so MC, here's my prediction with Coop is that I watched him in Donations. He was fast. He had that slip up. It happens.
Right,
He
right,
fell
right.
down. But the bike's riding him. You know, it just
we all talked about that.
He's so little, and it's just like you see
he was scared of it.
You see him in that he's in reactive mode the whole time. I think once he gets to Atlanta, where it's more the dirt takes some of the horsepower, you can drop the hammer a little harder.
Right.
I really think you're going to see a breakout for him in Atlanta, and then that's going to give him the confidence that he needs to go there, because these tracks are sketchy. Then now they're rutted and so ultra gooey. So either the bike gets ton of traction and launches you,
Right.
or slides.
Yeah.
So your throttle response is key.
And due to the rain, it's kind of notchy, right?
Yeah.
You're getting
Yeah.
notchy between the jumps, as
Plus
we
square holes
saw
and stuff.
with Roxon. But you could be totally right. I mean, Cooper Webb's obviously he's finding what he likes too. He hasn't had a lot. He hasn't raced the 450, right? I mean, you can test all you want until you race,
right?
You just don't know. So
well, because your
it was
timing
cool.
and everything like that. So when you tested, for me it was different because we always had the Golden States and stuff to go through. You guys started the bam January
Right.
we're going.
Yeah, we didn't race much.
And there was also Supercross tracks. How much did you stiffen your setup after the first round?
Well, it's weird. You probably, as you remember, when you bring the race bike out and you just even Anaheim 1, your first the bike, all of it feels stiff, feels weird. They don't rev out as much, and I mean they're just not as loose as they would after a few weeks when you break them in. Typically on a softer track, it would seem that I would, with a new bike, I would open the clickers just a few because it would feel like it was riding me and not me riding the bike, which is what we saw Cooper for the last few weeks. This weekend obviously was different, but and as the bikes get worn in, they get freer. It's called, the suspension kind of breaks in a little bit. And but yeah, off season is totally different. Your settings could be one thing, but then when you get in the Supercross series, I mean, you go faster.
Yeah,
you got to tighten things up, suspension and all that. Which I'm not sure in Cooper's case. He probably loosened his bike up a little bit. It looks stiff for the first few weeks.
Right. I would do a couple things. I would give him a longer throw throttle. I would detune. I would take some compression away from him. That's kind of the dummy way of saying I would soften the power a little bit, and maybe take a ball peen hammer to the head pipe.
Or put a heavier flywheel or something. Let it react.
But I wouldn't do that because it would make it harder to stop too.
True, the inertia.
So that would slow it down and smooth out for outdoors. But when he goes to chop it and hit the brakes, it's like whoa.
That stuff worked on a two-stroke because they were easier to stop. Yeah, inertia now is.
Well, what you're talking about is basically taking a 450 and trying to make it slow, a lot more like
just dumb it down a little bit,
so that he can ride it the way he rides his 250.
Well, here's the thing: is that when I went from 250 to 500, my 500 was so fast that when you crack the throttle, I was finding myself riding in 5 to 15% throttle, and then rarely down big straightaways and stuff like that would I get to barely ever to 100%.
Right.
And then I smashed my pipe at a race, and all of a sudden I felt awesome because I was riding it. It was still as fast at the top end, but I found myself riding from 30 to 60% to where I could be more aggressive, and I could still get the desired speed and distance to jump and all that different stuff. But I wasn't waiting for this dynamite to explode in my hand. And that's when I see Cooper right now. He's riding in a sense like, oh crap, this thing.
But not this weekend.
No, he was more aggressive, more up front. But I still don't think we're seeing.
I think you're
I
on
think
to
he's
it.
80%.
He wants to ride hard. That's his nature. And he can't on that bike until they
but here's the thing: we've seen him grow up, and he hammers that 250.
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't do that with a 450.
Nope.
No,
and I mean, I agree with you. You do things to kind of make the bike react a little slower to you, even though it still has all that power. I still do that now. I give myself a lot of slack in the throttle because then when you move your hand, nothing happens really until you
make a mistake.
Yeah, right. You don't get jerk off the track.
You get vodka throttle, not whiskey throttle.
Right, exactly. Yep. So he did good.
I'm proud.
There was a really important question on Facebook.
Light years.
What is it
from last week?
Light years, definitely. What's the Facebook
He looked
question?
comfortable. That was the biggest thing for him.
What are we looking at?
Is RJ the original bad boy?
No, that the original bad boy RJ?
Oh, of course it is. You guys know that's the one and only Ricky Johnson. That's him.
That's me.
Don't make us bust out the tattoo right now.
That's right. We'll go there.
Are you talking about me or him?
You?
No.
What? Actually, we'll hit it,
Super
but
fan.
I got a question for you
Super
once
fan.
we talk about the German kid.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
I want to talk about a couple of things since we do have two extraordinary characters on the show with us here. Three if you count Brad.
Four if
I
you
want
count
to talk
you.
about a couple of the things here, like RJ who?
Oh.
You remember RJ who?
Back when the Dick was beating my record, and he decided to have Pete Fox tried to put that on there. Or no, it wasn't RJ who, it was RJ Check.
Yeah. No,
You
it had
checked
RJ
out-
Who also.
Okay, so he had so he's a Dick twice.
Yeah.
So he put RJ who,
Yeah.
and then when he beat my record, put RJ.
But I had
Check.
Hannah
Check
on
yeah.
there.
So
that was
no,
so I was just
get
kind of
it.
ramping up the
It's all
record.
it's all part
You
of the
threw
show.
everybody down like that?
Well, he didn't really do it.
Just
Pete Fox just did it, and you ran it.
Yeah, I mean, it was started out as like because when I had 7 wins in a row, they put like remember the movie Seven, and it was like Roman numerals and it was blood, so they had 7, and then they went to like it said straight with an 8 ball or whatever on there, and then number 9 was 9 lives, and number 10 was
10.
I can't yeah I can't I can't even remember hang 10 maybe or something like that. I don't know what it was, but then by the time I got to like race number 12 or 13, I was getting like 27 win number 27, which was Hannah's. Maybe it was.
Oh, he was
that's when it
26.
said-
I was 27.
Yeah.
Hey,
really, you're
don't
28.
mix
I
that
thought.
up.
To
I
set
might
the
be
record
28.
straight.
I might be. You're
He's
right.
28. He doesn't even know.
I don't know.
Hannah's 27. You're 28.
Yep. Okay.
And then when I was there, that's where the RJ Who butt patch came from.
Right.
But I only wore it once because I didn't want to disrespect my man over here.
There you go. Appreciate that.
So
There you go.
Dan over here had to bring that
The
up.
year
Here's
1996.
the thing.
Let's talk about St. Louis that year.
Here's the thing. When you get
Talk about Mike LaRocca.
when you
from
get
that
two
race.
bulls on a show, you want to show the horns a little bit because I think that's interesting for the audience. And you guys have been bulls in your career, and so I'm just kind of talking about it a little bit.
Did you when you were going to beat Hannah's record? What'd you have on your butt patch?
Bad boy. I didn't have nothing. I didn't
Yeah.
Just
I didn't have anything.
at that point.
That was back when
when
they
you were-
couldn't get creative. They didn't have like the heat transfer.
they were barely getting
No kidding.
butt patches.
I had like
Got a
those. I had
Sharpie
those,
on there, bad
no,
boy.
I had those felt iron-on things.
Yeah, from the T-shirt shop. Yeah.
It was in a can. I opened
Yeah.
it.
But when you
whoop ass?
got win number 28 to beat Hannah, were you in JT gear?
No, I was in Fox.
You're in Fox.
No, I was in JT.
You were in JT, yeah, because you had the like
Yeah, the cyborg stuff.
cyborg stuff. Yeah, because those were your last Supercross
that was
wins.
my last deal. So then I went to Atlanta. Got second, then got smashed in
Atlanta, which
Angel.
was that was
gnarly
90.
race, yeah,
That was the one where like 5 or 6 of you guys. Wardy won that one.
that was the next year, 89, where I got hurt.
89 was the other one where
Where Cooper went
yeah,
over my
yeah,
head.
yeah. Okay,
And,
yeah. Remember that.
So
Any of you guys watched 1989 Atlanta Supercross? It's a good one.
it's bad.
Just ask Tony Blazer about it.
Yeah, Cooper. Guy Cooper's a maniac in that race. I mean, he was a maniac anyway, but he was a good one in that.
He
one.
is a maniac.
He went as high and as far as Roxon did this past weekend, but he just didn't hit the face of a jump.
No.
He just landed on flat ground.
Yeah,
And like Cooper,
and
just went,
kept
oh,
a pin.
Oh yeah.
everything's fine.
He's a
Just scribbled
maniac
dirt.
in a great way. We love Guy Cooper. He was awesome.
Unless you had to race against him.
Great
and then-
entertainment.
Real quick, what was that race?
Right. Okay. I didn't have to
I think
race
it was-
against him.
I think it was
In
at,
Europe a few times though.
Yeah, that's
He was pretty wild there too. So
I think it was at the Coliseum. It was during like your era, and I want to say it was like Trittler or somebody like flew off of one bike and landed
That
on
was,
another guy's bike.
That was
was-
in Vegas.
that was in Vegas.
Shane Trittler was getting lapped by Damon Huffman. Damon Huffman hit him, blew Trittler off his bike. Trittler landed on the back of
He
him.
did a
holding
flip
on.
and landed on him, I think.
And he's like,
And
hey,
held on.
stop the bike, stop the bike.
And
What are you doing here?
Damon Huffman.
and by the way, they were buddies.
buddies.
Yeah,
They
lived right
lived
by each
they
other.
lived in the same town.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, what are the chances? And that was when the Supercross track at Vegas went up over the top of the whatever that the lockers or
Yeah,
whatever.
the
that
locker
was.
room went up and over the turn and then came back. And so he hit him, flipped, landed on, and he's like, stop.
He
so
stopped, did a
crazy.
pit stop, he stepped off, and Damon won the race.
Yeah, he was.
I gotta go win. I'll talk to you later.
That's pretty rad.
I'm busy, Shane. I'll
He's
talk
the
to you in a
only
little
one.
bit.
He's like, dude, get off my bike, man. I got to win the race. Yeah.
I don't have time for
Can't
this.
pretty crazy.
imagine that happening. You ever ride Chiquita Canyon up there? with Shane or any of that stuff?
No,
I never
No.
have.
No
No.
Zard
I think-
stuff.
I
up there or
rode
anything?
Gorman once, but
Okay,
That
that's a
was way
different.
later.
That's a
I
different
raced
thing.
Gorman, did a school there, but I didn't.
where those guys where that was where like Kehoe, Kadrowski,
Yep.
Yeah.
Had a training place up
Huffman.
there.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I never rode up there.
Gotcha.
Busy
Anyways,
down here.
full sidebar. We do have a lot to get to tonight, and everybody is interested in some of the hot subjects. So let's get into them. We got some time to get into them. We are going to break some news on replacement riders here on the show tonight. So I think everybody will be excited to hear about that.
I'm going to
So,
factory Honda.
yes,
You are Brad's.
Yeah.
Brad's a new team rider.
Brad's stepping in.
Yep.
Breaking news.
I did have a laugh. By the way, on that subject, I did have a laugh this week when someone posted a Honda with the number 7
on
on
there.
there.
too.
I mean, what do you
I
think?
saw
I
that.
saw it and I was
said,
like,
no
no
way.
way. Yeah.
Dave Arnold was on my Facebook. He was like, "There's no chance.
No,
Zero
it's,
chance.
It's 0.0000. Ain't gonna happen.
Well, I saw Luke, my son, brought that over. He's like, "Dad, look at this." I'm like, "No way. There is no
Yeah.
way."
Whoever did that, that was like a bad joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny though.
But good at Photoshop.
It obviously got all of our attention.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Pretty fun.
Lots of
So
shares.
Dan,
Let's
we got to go to break.
No, we're
Then
not
break it
going
and lay it on us,
We
bro.
don't gotta go to
Let's-
break.
let's-
No,
Are we actually going to talk
we'll
about
get
Eli
into it.
Tomac?
Oh, I
Because
like
we like
this.
we
Yeah,
started
let's-
talking
That's
about
what we're
going to
talk about. We're going to talk about a guy named Vince Freeze and a guy named Jason Anderson.
Well, hold on. Before we get to that, let's talk about Tomac real quick because
Okay, okay.
I mean, it won't take that long, right? Because
It's not a very exciting story.
right, we have a
It should
whole
be.
lot of
It's-
excitement stuff to talk about, but let's save the real good stuff.
What would you, if you were his guy, what would you do to get him to where he should be, like he was in practice? What do you think he's lacking?
Man, it's so weird to me because Eli Tomac is, you know his dad. I mean, there's no way Eli Tomac is out of shape.
No,
I think the kid trains hard. I mean, in my own opinion, I might sit him down and say rest for the whole week and then ride the bike. Do nothing. I don't know. It's impossible. He can't do
Try
that.
something.
Try something.
Right?
I'm not exactly sure what's going on. You think I'd have more of an inside line on that, and I do talk to Eli through text and whatever. I've been out the track a few times with those guys, him and Grant, and I have. It's something between the ears, is in my mind. I know for sure they went out this week. They last week before this past race, did a lot of testing. They changed the bike around a little bit, and one of the things I know for sure is he's been riding and getting in shape and is really loving his bike and doing all that. And then as soon as the races happen, he wanted to go test and change the bike. So something he's not real comfortable with as of lately, but it sure, I don't know, from my eyes, it sure didn't look like that in practice.
It's really
He got fastest practice. He got fastest time in practice.
It's really a tough thing when these riders, everything is working right, but they're not getting the results, and then they start tinkering. I mean, it's such a slippery slope.
It is.
Work backwards.
Tinker the wrong
quick.
direction.
One of the worst things you can do is do that.
Like, how can you go fast for just one lap? Like how can you capture
No,
lightning in a bottle
I got
and then
the market
not?
cornered on the go fast for one lap thing.
Christoph
You
Porcel
got
has it
one
pretty
lap?
good.
I don't have one lap anymore.
But that's because Christoph Purcell is gutless for the most part. But like,
Ooh.
Boom. I might agree with you on that, but we're talking about a totally
Canadians
different
attacking
guy.
French people.
that's not new.
Oh, we're talking about someone that we know trains, we know is in shape, we
Yeah.
know can win races, and what I'm dumbfounded.
Well, to
be honest.
me, I feel.
Have you been watching him and watching
Yes,
the bike?
I've
What
been-
do you feel
I
on
watch
setup?
him. I watch his.
You watch the whole
I
setup.
watched the whole thing. I'm a big fan of John Tomac. I mean, he was the man when I was racing and at the end of my career and all the different stuff. And so, and I worked with Eli when he was a little kid. And
Right.
I've watched him grow and mature and then have plateaus and break through and plateaus and break through. And this is a plateau and he will break through this.
Right.
But I think
It's just
he's
bad
got
timing.
so much pressure on him right now. And I watch, man, he's walking the track and his dad's telling him one thing, his mechanics tell him another, his engineers tell him another, the team managers tell him another. I think he just needs to relax and have fun. And when he's riding, to me, he's too static. He's too much not like his dad or not like a bicycle guy or not
He's
like
trying to put
MC.
in the lap time.
Right. He's
all
trying to
the
put
time
it in,
instead of let it
he's
happen.
He's
Yeah.
pushing it and he's making the bike do the work instead of being more like you.
Letting
He's
the
riding
bike.
more like me. In today's world, he needs to ride more like you, more animated, absorb
Just go
more
with it.
and flow
Yeah.
and plan his
This
move.
is what would happen if you tried to ride like him.
Well, no, I
You know
mean,
what I mean?
right. Well, no, but it's
Maybe. Yeah.
Like you just get all like that's not what works for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Just
But
let nature take its course.
But
Right.
with the 450 and fuel injection and as strong as he is and all the different stuff, I just think he's racing to the corner and he's deciding to make that decision when he gets there, and it's too late. And then instead of thinking about this corner to that corner to the
he
3,
should
4,
think
5.
about the way it would feel to ride a wave.
Exactly.
Like
exactly.
let it
flow.
Just let it go.
Like a pump bike and a pump track. And
the thing is,
work the corners back and forth.
Here's the thing. I think I would agree. Let's tell him to relax. Right. I would say, look, sit down, relax. But what you said about slippery slope, that's the other thing. You know, some of these kids, they're not as confident as they need to be sometimes, or just a little, you know, sometimes, especially when you're having results that aren't great, you're a little insecure of that. He knows he's high paid guy at Kawasaki.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's the guy, he's supposed to be putting in the results.
Yep.
And we know that he wants it as bad or as anyone out
More
there.
than we do.
Yeah. And my thing is, like, if you let him relax and, like, say his dad just chilled out off of him and everyone just totally let him just be,
let him ride,
then he'd be like, oh man, I suck, you know, blah, blah. So there's a balance. They got to find a balance. They can't leave him alone too much.
Mm-hmm.
If you go, hey, go sit on the couch for the week and watch TV and, you know, just relax, you know, sometimes that can work on you also. You know, every second of the day, the guy's replaying exactly what's happened for 3 straight weeks, and he's just kicking his own butt.
Right.
Yeah.
So he does have to just relax and sort of let it happen.
I would focus on anything that makes the bike better and gives him confidence. I wouldn't try to fix his technique. He's got that.
No, I would agree with you,
can
but
give him confidence. If that's a break, if that's a trip to the lake or the snow or fishing or anything that could reset him and give him that confidence back, because that's entirely, you said it's between his ears.
I think so.
It's that,
unless there's something
confidence
going on we just, you know, we don't know about. But I've been around him. Everything seems all right. Your bike setup must be good if you can go out and get top time.
Yeah.
Right.
In my mind, his bike's good. When he's strong, the first few laps, when he's strong, he's riding really good. Turns out this weekend in the final, right, he got a great jump. I'm not sure. He went pretty far outside. He was 2 outside the box. Got a great jump. Got to the first turn. We had Grant just below Dungy on the inside, who got another great start. He was on the way inside.
Mm-hmm.
Dungy nailed that start, killed the whole shot.
Right.
But Tomac was right there with him at the hay bales. He overran it in the first corner and stood it up on the bales a little bit, and then he went back to like 8th or wherever he was. So he kind of,
which is about where he finished.
Yeah, he kind of maybe started 10th and then passed 2 guys. I know he was dicing with Reed for a while there.
9th to 8th.
But anyways, he did overrun the corner a little bit. He nailed the start from where he was, which was good. I think I wish I knew what to tell you guys. I just don't know.
But he's got a great program between his mom, his dad.
He does.
I mean, everything.
He does. Awesome.
He's got an unbelievable support program, and it just, like I said, it just needs to.
It's hard not to think.
When I see him around the
so.
track,
He
he looks like the look on his face is of a guy who's like he knows he's disappointing everybody right now, and as a young man, that's tough.
Sometimes that's a tough one. Yeah.
Yeah, like he's like I know, I'm blowing it. Like I
you know
what's
it's not blowing it.
I had the same exact thing happen to me in 2001. I
was gonna say this has got to be a story.
2001. 2001 is the year I got second to Carmichael. So 2000 was my last title. 2001 I finished second to Carmichael. 2001 was when I had that epic battle with him at Anaheim. That was my last win.
There you go.
So I finished second to him in that year. So 2002. I went and trained more than I'd ever trained in my whole life.
Yeah, you were hanging out with Todd. You were bicycling.
I was reaching. I mean, I was reaching so far. I was way skinnier than I'd ever been. I went to the races and I did exactly what Eli is doing.
Right. Yeah. You were just a weight burner.
And you did
I
have
had
arm
nothing.
pump that
I
year.
was flat. I couldn't ride. I would ride like 5 laps and I was done.
Right.
So,
but that's the thing is that the people want to go, oh, that he's running out of gas. No, when your mind goes, it doesn't matter how great it is. When you want to get off the bike, man, you want to get off the bike. It's like being on fire. You're just like, I'm just not enjoying this at all. Then you have those days where you're sick. Like you said, you're sick all week. You don't ride the bike. You don't do anything. You just hang out and watch TV and hope the fever breaks. And all of a sudden you go to the race and the fever breaks and you feel like Superman.
Whole shots and you're
kill
like,
everybody.
Yeah, I know.
So it's a balancing act of
is.
life and all that, because all these guys, and then that's one thing that might be a bridge into it. But man, Ryan Dungey, year after year after year, is just a machine.
Yeah,
Totally.
So to finish up on Eli, I don't know, man. He's getting good start. I would suggest exactly what you did. Relax a little bit, chill out.
Yep.
He's beating himself up over it, which sometimes can be a bad deal. But we know him. He's fast. He'll find it.
Oh,
he'll figure it out. It's going to be a bad month here, but he'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I think. Let me just one more thing on the Eli. I think with I think with Roxon out of the picture, it's going to change Eli mentally at the track.
It could.
It's going to change his perception of where he belongs, his perception of how he fits in the dynamic of the whole thing. And I think that
that's going to change a lot of guys.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is.
And the grab for who's going to be the top dog is open.
He's got to make.
I think Dungey's already got 3 fingers on it, but it's open.
I do too. But you got Marvin, Jason, and now Cooper coming up. I think he's still got.
Well, let's see. Marvin's only 6 points down from Dungey, so I can tell you right now that Marvin's going. Look, Ken's out.
Marvin's
all
the Dungey.
All I have to do now is keep Dungey in sight.
He's got 11. He's got 11 points on second or third.
He
and fourth,
is
and
the Dungey.
Third is out.
So Marvin Muskin's going to be now. He's in Dungey's position. He was, yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And with
Muscan.
Yeah. I just call
his
him
first
Marvin.
name's still Marvin.
Marvin.
The Martian.
Go on.
Where's the kaboom?
But yeah, I mean, he's still right there in the points. He's doing the Dungey-esque, but
and he's getting stronger. Marvin's getting stronger. This is his second season.
Starts. He's sitting on that box every time.
Bike looks good. Yeah, we see him up front a lot.
And he's been qualifying better than usual because we haven't seen that from him in the past.
Yeah.
MC, I want you to watch Marvin. This is my theory is with him is that he's kind of Bob Hanish and he runs such high bars. And so jumps and all the different stuff, it's one thing, but with all these jumps right out of the corners, his body's up a little bit high. And then when he comes into the corners, his arms are actually up. When he sits down, he's not like the arms are down. They're up. And
because the hands are up.
Because his bars are so high. I think if you lower that guy's bars a little bit, you change his body position. Because you watch him, he jumps a lot and does the back, brake tap to get the front end down. And I threw that out to Jim Anderson, who does their suspension stuff like that. Because I dig Marvin. I think I love everything about it. Really good, humble, and works hard and is there week after week after week. But you watch, he has this pause in the corner because his body
Bradshaw used to run real high bars too.
Right. And so little things like that at this level are going to make a difference, I think.
Yeah, I might agree with you. I think sometimes with the rutted track, when you go into the corners, having high bar with the ruts kind of it makes you relax, though.
It depends on your body.
Yeah, maybe it throws you over. It could maybe want you to run out of a corner a little bit, but it does make you just relax.
Right.
And when you're in some of the bumps, if you have high bars, maybe it's sometimes might help you with braking. But you're right. When you go to hit a jump and your hands are high, you're getting a lot of.
Well, here's what I see is that he's short body, long legs. So when he stands up, his bars are in the right position. So when he's doing jumps, when he's standing doing jumps, he's fine. When he does seat hops coming out of the quarter, it puts him down lower, and so then he's pulling himself up. So he's not. It's
I would
not
explain the loop out every once in a while.
It's not pulling him forward.
Good
point. When he stands
point.
up, he's in a comfortable spot. So, but that's the thing though. If you put him on lower bars on him, he stands up. It might bring him too far forward and throw him over the bars.
Yeah. Well, there's got to be some. He could try. We all know the factories have millimeter adjusters.
So we need to get Tomac some higher bars to relax those arms a little bit.
No, that was
ape hangers.
No. I know. Just bringing it back.
So let's go to what you brought up, Dan. The Freezy saga. So all these other guys are getting fined. They're getting fined and DQ'd. But there's one common denominator that keeps coming on this thing, man.
Well, when you watch him as a fan,
man.
Okay, you whole shot, you ride wide. Nobody
Give the man
around
a hot
you. Like
Give that man a hot dog.
I love it because it frustrates me.
Okay.
It's something to watch at the very least.
Absolutely.
But I think honestly, in this particular case, it was Freezy's reputation that pulled him into the situation that he's currently in.
No, it was his throttle that he ran into those guys is what pulled him into the situation.
I couldn't wait to hear what he had to say.
Well, he was on the brakes when he entered, at the time when the
at the time of impact.
But even if it was this time and it was the 19 previous times.
Well, I know Vince. And
let's just each give our opinion on that. You go ahead.
Go ahead. You're
okay. Well, like this, of all the malicious acts or like times that Vince Freese gets into these types of situations, this being probably the least egregious as far as like just slamming somebody. The combination of him trying to make a pass or trying to scramble to make something happen right after or getting passed by Malcolm Stewart, because that's what happened the corner beforehand. He's trying to make something happen or at least minimize the damage as Marvin and Anderson come to freight train by as well, and it all like they come together and he's the only one that leaves that spot. I was surprised that like MCR or Vince wasn't penalized at all for the push for Anderson to hit the ground.
That was like the karma gods just getting him perfect. That was awesome.
But bottom line is Anderson needs to keep his cool. He's a much bigger
all Anderson
deal.
was doing. All Anderson was doing was just like patting him on the back of the head, like, "Hey man, what you doing?"
By the way, that
You know what I
hit,
mean?
the hit we saw on the Instagram, was the second hit. So he slapped him real hard before they got out of the stadium. So the one we saw with the push was the second hit.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So listen, Anderson's paid to keep us cool, in my opinion.
Yep,
right.
really.
And you said it best earlier. It would have been like me slapping Barry Carson or something for being in my way when I was racing, or you and some slow guy, right?
Scott Burnworth.
There was times he was pretty
Burn
quick.
was fast.
Yeah, he was fast.
He was a lot faster.
But in this instance, the whole corner where the accident happened is totally taken out of context, because you have to put the corner before it in context.
Exactly.
Malcolm Stewart got underneath Freese,
Beautiful.
put him pretty high.
Gorgeous
Good move. It was a great move to not let him do anything, right? Pinned him on
Yep.
the bales. But where did this put Freese going down the next straightaway? On the
against-
right side on the bales.
Right.
Yeah.
He comes down, and he might have been braking. Maybe he overran the corner. He did not go to take Anderson out. Anderson, he went into the track a little bit and turned, and Anderson, like he did the previous corner, because he passed them
Squared
both,
him off.
he squared it up and just
Yeah.
ran into him.
Right.
His reputation is the problem in this instance. In my mind, I didn't see Freese do anything wrong. He was probably like, man, what is Anderson doing? He just fell on me. That's probably what he was thinking, right? Because it got him all off balance.
Mhm.
Now, Anderson, knowing it was Vince Freese, he was like, this
Here we
guy
go
must
again.
act
Totally.
like an idiot doing what he's
If it was
always
anybody
does, blah,
else,
blah,
that
blah.
you wouldn't have hit him.
Right. I don't think so. I think you're right. So, I know there's all week long, I've been going back and forth on Transworld, all these different things talking about this. And in my mind, for once, he didn't do anything wrong. It just the situation, how it works out. And Anderson, I'm not 100% sure they should have taken him out of the race.
No.
Maybe
That was-
maybe taken a couple points from him or something like that. But you just got to know that you can't. He's a high-paid guy. He's much better than Freese is when it comes to racing. You have to take some of that. Take the good with the bad. He gets paid to keep us cool and race hard. Taking a few points might have been the right situation, but after having 2 fourths in a row and then getting DQ'd for that race, how
Basically take
bad?
him out of the championship.
How bad did that little slap work out for him?
Oh, it hurt him much worse than it hurt.
Oh yeah,
Freese.
and now
Plus,
you have
he's physically
another
hurt worse
you have
than
another
Freese
contender
is.
that
Right.
basically has been eliminated from that.
And Dungy's
event.
sitting there going, "Thank you."
But I'm
Yeah.
not willing to accept the
Check.
notion that Freese didn't run that thing in there hard, knowing that Anderson was going to come down, knowing there was no space for him,
No
and
way.
not caring,
No way.
thinking,
All right, no way.
he's
Are you
going
guys
to
ready
check
for
up
my
and I'm
opinion?
going to bully him.
Let's
listen to
because
our-
I think you and RJ think the same.
Yeah.
Me and
Yeah.
Brad are the same.
I think
So
so.
here's
Jim's
what,
over there. He's the tiebreaker. So we're gonna see what he has
find
to
out.
say
Yeah,
last.
Here we go.
here's
Yeah.
what I think. I think that Vince was frustrated because he just got juked by Malcolm and then passed by 2 more guys. I think he went in hard but did not expect Jason to square the corner. And I think he went to basically try to do the same thing to them, which he would have done if they would have held the line, because they would have been meeting at a 45 and not plowing him into Marvin and taking them both out.
Marvin was going around and fell on top of Jason.
Right.
He wasn't in this situation.
No, but Jason got knocked into Marvin, which knocked him
To complete
both
that,
down.
though, then Vince would have had to go.
To me, I
higher
watched
up
it
into
over
the
and
corner.
over. To
Right.
me, if Freese was going to do the same move that Malcolm did to him in the previous corner, he would have went from He only made it to half track before he turned.
That's what I'm saying. Let me tell you one more time.
The move would have been higher on the berm.
He didn't get a chance to get there because Jason was there and it T-boned him and knocked him into him. So when you're the guy, so I see both sides.
Yeah.
Jason's like, yes, I took it in there deep, and yes, I wanted to maybe get physical. But when Jason turns, which he does just like with the Chad Reed and
Trey Kennard.
Trey Kennard
did that.
Jason comes down and just feels a front wheel blast him in the hip and knock him out of the way. He lost his crap, and then that's how that all transpired. So
I don't think Freeze has
did
the
his front
speed.
wheel really hit, like when Jason turned down Freezy, he hit Freezy half bike.
I thought he hit him and knocked him
I don't
out.
think it was T-bone style.
I have to see it again.
I'll have to see it again too. But here's the thing. They were like 10 feet away, right? Because Anderson was way over there on the left. Freezy was way over on the right. So maybe when he turned down, the action itself got worse because if they were close, then it probably nothing would have happened.
So he didn't expect him to come down. He didn't expect him to come
And
in.
Vince probably didn't expect to get hit in the head twice because of it.
The difference between
but when he
Freeze
pushed him over was the greatest karma getting him back.
for
getting
sure.
passed by Malcolm
And all the
Freeze.
KJSC kids being like, "This is Supercross."
And his helmet on those bars going.
I didn't get to see it.
You didn't?
That was.
It's on Instagram.
I love Anderson. I'm a huge fan. The guy races hard. He's awesome, and we're friends. I like him. I would consider him like I can walk up to him and talk to him. So
Not anymore.
No. Look, hey man, you mess with the bull sometimes, you get the horns. That's how it works.
So what happened?
Of all people to get upset about contact, though, like Jason
Right.
likes to run it in there too.
Indeed.
Right, that'd be like Barsha getting mad at someone.
But
for
they take him,
contacting.
but they take him out of the race. But the guy for pushing him over into the thing shouldn't get.
He was defending himself.
Well, I think the
He was
punishment
defending
outweighed
his
the
guy,
crime.
right? It was his
The
mechanic
mechanic?
guy, right?
Yeah, that's not.
I thought for sure that Freezy probably grabbed his front brake and the mechanic
that
pushed
would've
him
been fun.
over. But
Yeah, the punishment. outweighed
I'm
the
not
crime.
sure that
They
you can.
shouldn't-
I'm
they
not
shouldn't
sure
have
that you
benched
can
him.
do that. Think that quick, really. But
The embarrassment of falling down on the mud should have been enough to, and then maybe a stern talking to.
right.
And like you said,
I
it's
don't know. I don't agree with that.
It's a
So-
bummer.
there would have to be something.
I'm on both sides. Yeah, you get paid and you're the elite guy, but old school man, AJ Foyt, work it out, man. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Sorry,
you
well,
can't do that. Can't do that because it get out of hand.
Then do it like the old. Go back to the truck and do it, not in the tunnel.
The fans love to see the passion. We've been talking about it all year. We need to see passion from these guys, and we need to be able to see them lose a little cool without taking it to the physical point.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
we want to see that because we're there. We're that passionate about our racers, and our racers need to show that they're passionate about their role in winning on behalf of their fans and their teams and whatnot. So there's so much good that can come from it from a entertainment value.
Nobody
standpoint.
got disqualified when Villeman went over Roncada back in the day.
Nobody cares if two Frenchies hurt them.
Here's the other thing. In my mind, it was a heat race.
Yeah.
If that was the final, all right, man, you just busted me on the final, and now I'm like in 15th or 20th.
Yeah. They both
It
ended
was
up
a
going
heat
to the
race.
semi, didn't
I
they?
mean, it was a heat race. There's a semi and there's the. I mean, yeah, everyone likes to qualify from the heat, but I mean, he could have used his energy on something else.
And if anybody should be guilty until proven innocent, shouldn't it be Freeze?
Guilty until proven innocent.
Right. I mean, yes, for sure.
That's a word of what
But
it is.
I mean, all week long, I've been explaining his innocence, and in no way am I defending any of his other actions because he's been known to be pretty wild and get in the mix of everything. I mean, with the how many? What was it last?
He's a
week?
repeat offender.
Yeah, but 2 weeks ago wasn't Weston and him talking because I saw him on Instagram.
Yeah.
Two races in a row they
Weston
were.
was giving him a mouthful again.
Two races in a row, Weston.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
no,
I mean, the guys are close to the same speed most of the time.
So you're going to see each other often.
Yeah.
Right. So they're going to end up around
I
each other.
just say you go old school like Mike Craig and Larry Brooks and meet out by the lake and let her happen.
There you go.
Get it over with.
Fight for 2
AMA
hours.
can't control that one.
That's right. Meet me
Right.
out in Lakeside. We're going to
Yeah.
get this done.
That's still not going to change their speed. They're still
No,
going to
I
end
know.
up in the same
No, I know
spot.
But
Yeah.
but hey, if
They might think about it a little
quit
more.
talking about it.
Yeah.
Let's go do it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
I just think Jeremy defending Freeze is kind of like defending O.J. Simpson or something. Like
Oh,
we know,
man, that is
that's a
hard.
lot.
know.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're Gloria Allred. We get it. You're going to
Jeez.
defend.
Oh,
the
that's the most
undefendable.
painful thing
Oh.
you've said there. We can't even mention that
Easy,
name
Hillary.
on the show.
Park the white Bronco. Okay?
Jeez.
If the glove doesn't fit,
Easy,
you
Hillary.
must acquit.
Oh my gosh!
You had to
Gloria already. You had to go there, dude.
that
That
name
is
is not even
jacked
allowed.
up.
I
on
hit
this
him below
show.
the belt, apparently.
Hey, so guys, I want to bring
You
it up.
believe
The
this
other
guy?
major thing, I want to get to the Ken Roxon story because so many of these other racers' stories now.
What happened to Ken?
He won the race.
Oh,
Yeah.
No,
So
To the hospital.
business as
He won the
usual.
race to the hospital.
That's true. He did.
I mean, devastating crash. Ken Roxon, broken arm,
Dislocated elbow, dislocated wrist,
Both.
broken tail or broken
Radius.
Radius, yeah.
Um,
They said it was compound too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at the bottom.
they showed he even sent the picture of the blood coming through.
I feel like I wasn't in the stadium. I was at home. At home, I stood up in the middle when that happened. It was like
Oh,
it
and
got you out of your seat.
I
It
walked
had to
up and
be
watched
big
the
at the
noddle,
stadium.
and when he hit, I almost wanted to throw up. I mean, it was like,
His visor like blew off. His goggles blew off.
Like I didn't know if he killed him or not. To be honest with you, it was that scary from where he's at that he didn't move, and then the guys the way they were attending to him. And honestly, I walked out at that point. I'm just like,
So did I. I was right behind you.
I left. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't watch it anymore. You know, and
So how many times did you replay it when you got home?
like 5 times. Once I knew he was okay. Once I knew he just had a broken arm and it jacked up. That I knew he wasn't dead.
Yeah.
I watched. No, seriously.
Wasn't it weird
Dude, when
that
you
he-
see
he-
pieces flying, you're like, is that his head? What
It's
was
weird.
that?
It's weird. He didn't get knocked out.
Yeah, I know.
No,
He didn't
he was
get
awake
knocked
the
out.
whole
He
time.
was
I was
just
super
he was
surprised
there
by
and he
that.
was like
He's just holding his
He's
arm.
just holding his arm, but but
you
man,
saw when you replay it and you see his arm, he lands like this, and then he
you
flips
see it-
around. His
yeah.
arm is just ragdolling.
Yeah.
So nasty.
Yeah.
That's by far one of the hardest crashes that we've all seen in a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know when you get ejected like that and you kind of push off, it makes you go higher than
right.
Yeah, your
I mean,
trajectory totally goes up.
Your
And
bike
you
goes
have no
down, you go
control.
up. Yeah.
And I gotta know, was that something that is just absolutely unrecoverable? Was he going off one way? or
Well,
the
yeah.
other?
Let's talk about that. What's your opinion on?
Because if you could stay on,
what's
it's
your
better
opinion?
to use your shocks and your
Right,
tires, right?
There was
What's
no
your opinion on? What's your opinion on how it happened?
Well, I think that obviously that one particular rhythm lane was more treacherous than any other part on the track. I think a lot of guys were having a hard time with it, and because of it, it was the only rhythm section on the track where guys were taking a different rhythm to avoid certain takeoffs and whatnot. And there was a decent sized hole that was developing. I rewatched the race today, watching that hole develop on that takeoff. I think a combination of Ken overcooking the
Jump
transition
into it?
that, and then I think what actually pulled him off the bike was his foot grabbing some dirt on the one side, and that's
Really? I
what
didn't
ended
see
up
that.
turning his whole body. If you watch from his left or his right side, you see his right boot get dug into some dirt, and that's what kind of like takes his whole body up and off to the one side. I think that's why he ejects so quickly, gets away from the motorcycle that way. And then like we've seen his like the way he sets up a motorcycle do something similar to it like that with the Monster Cup. And like eerily similar as far as the crash goes, and but
Just
like
a
it's
way different result.
way different result. And then yeah, obviously once you're in the air, anything can happen after that. Monster Cup, he was fine. I think he landed on some tough blocks. This time, took everything to the arm, and that was all she wrote.
Me, I think that one has to do with how much power that thing has when it hits. He over jumped a little bit. I think there was a
Going in.
slight pause is when he hit the gas, the bike paused just an instant, and he was forward. And,
He does ride forward.
and so that put him in a situation where, as it accelerated, he was already going forward. His feet were off the pegs, and then trying to just get in
that
a bunch more
unweighted the rear
throttle,
end?
and then that just like a double bounce on
It gives
a
you the
trampoline.
feeling that it gives you the feeling that you're gonna get really
Right.
thrown quickly. However, it didn't look like had he squeezed a little, maybe stayed. It didn't look
Right.
like it was pitching as hard as he
Right.
made it look.
Well, that's why I'm
But-
asking because I don't know. Is that a possibility?
Well,
Maybe-
and also that jump wasn't all the way off. It kind of rounded, so it had a hard impact zone. Then his front started traveling, and it went
right.
And,
And
so then it started this, and his body's going, and so there was nothing more for the bike to continue to carry up,
Right.
to, like
Front was
to gas
dropping.
it and bring it up to him. That the like gassed it, and the front went down, the back launched him. I've been not that scenario, but I've been in very similar scenarios. You can't control your body. It's like you can't like go, oh, I'm gonna duck my head
or
and
roll
land.
and flip
You're-
or whatever. Yeah.
You're
like a
you're
cat.
but you're not a cat. You
Well, you're
your
trying to
body-
get to your
yeah,
feet.
You're trying to
but
do
you can't.
this thing,
rolling the
and-
windows down.
and you're just whatever happens. Your body's in motion, and your torso outweighs everything else. And like I said, I thought it was worse than it was. Just
in the with the rain and stuff, the bottom of the transitions were all so the lip was a little bit square. However, the whole thing was pretty rutted, which we saw. But he went over there two laps in a row, and there was no ruts. Really, I didn't see a bunch of ruts there. However, if he did jump into it a little long, I wasn't, and I didn't see his boot. I watched it over and over, probably 20 times, just looking at it, but I never saw his boot grab the dirt. But to me, Jim, it looked like he gave up on it a little early. He did fly right off before he was even
commented on that.
He gave up on it a little early, I thought. But and Roxon rides super loose, right? He's got talent coming out of his ears,
let
right?
the bike do what it wants, right?
I'm wondering. I wonder, like, man, if he was using his knees a little bit more, squeezing the bike, could he have controlled it a little bit through the section? He's got confidence. We all know what happens when you get a little overconfident. Now, if you have a lapse in, when you're not paying attention all the time and he's just thinking about the race because he's so stoked on his bike and he's confident, and he just got laxed a little bit and ended up, trying to scrub or doing what he's doing. Look, at the invitational race that I had, the Jeremy McGrath invitational race, I did the similar thing on the bike. I went to stay low over a double that was like 15 feet. And I went to stay in the front. Like you said, the front dropped and it wouldn't come back to me. And I ended up having to jump over. I broke my neck that night. Luckily it was a fracture. I'm fine, but real scary. Similar situation. We did see the similar situation at Monster Cup. I heard a lot of guys talking about, like, suspension wise, does it look soft to you? His bike? I mean, he's flying in the whoops. And if you were soft on settings, you wouldn't be able to do that in the whoops, I don't think.
It looks to me like he got startled by it, because I know that he has the ability to
caught him off guard.
Bag. Yeah. It caught him in a moment that he just got startled. And that's what you've all been in those air situations where you start floating on the bike, right? And it's a very uncomfortable moment. Right. Most of the time you and we see other guys go through it, almost
you want to
every
be
round.
one. You don't want to be splitting.
Where you're just not grabbing, you feel your body in the back start to separate a little bit.
Yeah.
If he got popped real quick and it just caught him for that second.
I'm sure if he watches it now, he feels like, oh, I could have rode that thing.
Right.
Out,
I should have been able to save that. Yeah.
And I think we see that in that. And a lot of people are questioning that accident. Why didn't he ride it out? Why wasn't he able to grab it? When you let go of the legs, the only leverage you have is this. And this leverage, unless you have some flip levers, which would have done him some service in that moment, he would have been able to push back on. But with no flip levers, there's nothing to stop him. This hand just rolls either direction.
I have a question, though. Why haven't we seen that? He didn't do that on his other bikes. He's had 2 crashes in a row now.
They were similar. I watched them both. They're not that similar.
They're not. But, the one in Monster Energy Cup, he was kind of screwing up the whole section, over jumped, and then trying to catch up with it. However, we didn't see that from on his Suzuki.
Well,
or KTM.
but we've
Or
also
KTM.
seen big crashes from Eli when he was on Hondas, because I think this, and you've ridden for Honda, and they want the best of the best of the best. I mean, they are the most driven people that I've ever worked for, and I think the performance curve is so non-existent. I think it's so high that when he runs it there, he's fine. But when he makes a mistake, it's like a radial tire. There's no coming back. We saw Ernesto take some big ones. We see Trey take some huge ones.
or
right. When you're on, man, you're testing. This thing feels awesome. But when you make a mistake, it's not a forgiving motorcycle. So I think that's part of it. Is it an awesome motorcycle? Yes. Does Honda have the most unbelievable engineers? Yes. So I'm not saying it's the motorcycle's fault, because their job is to make it as good as it can be. But tires are that way. Fuel injection.
The rider just needs to be ready.
Exactly.
In the instance that something happens. Now he's confident. I mean, he's real confident with that thing. You can tell.
Yeah.
And sometimes a little overconfident can get you. I've been guilty of that.
So have I.
And
really,
I think he was looking more towards. I'm going towards Paul Seeley. Like, all of his attention's going towards, I got to pass this guy, not necessarily what's happening underneath him, and it bit him, and that caught him off guard.
Maybe the section or something.
Maybe,
And you'll get a kick out of this, Jeremy. Is the guy Jamie Gregg from Guts seats. So I designed a seat for Blake. And so I called like a shark fin seat. So it's wider right in the middle at the bottom, so that when you ride, because they're making bikes so narrow now that you're actually knock-kneed to hold the bike. And so I had to make it a little bit fatter, and Dean Wilson ran with it today, and the Barn Pro guys have it on. And Blake Baggy used it 2 years ago. I don't know if he's got it now, but I got it to where it's narrow in the front and narrow in the back. So when you go all the way back, you're narrow. But then when you come down, it just got a little edge that gives you a little bit of cushion right here.
Yeah, so you
And
can
then
grab
also-
it. So you can
Then
grab it.
also, when you ride, you can hook your boot on it. So when you're going up, you're not just relying on plastic or grip tape or this or that. It gives you a little bit of something and
A little bit of a ridge.
a little little bit higher deal. So if you don't want to be Ken Roxon, call Jamie Gregg at Guts. Get a
There
seat.
you go. Get yourself one of those thick
There it
seats
is.
you can grab with your knees real easy.
Yep.
What about they had these freestyle guys that used to attach they were like bungee cords. You could attach it to your shirt to the front of the bike right there.
Seriously. Yeah, I want to see that.
It was pretty crazy. They only did it for a little bit.
Either way, regardless of how the crash happened, regardless of the result of it, obviously he had like destroyed that left arm. It's a huge hit to the series, and I think it's a sad day for Supercross.
Everybody wants to know who's going to replace him. That's
Well, hold on.
big
Let's
question. You got a question?
let's look at this right here. What's up, Brian? There's Tony Dell on here says, hey, he didn't have any patience.
I think people might be
because
questioning that.
he was chasing Cole Sealing.
But
and he
what
was
what lap were they on? Like lap 8, maybe
6 or 8.
Something along
That's
those
patience.
lines. Yeah,
To me?
he followed.
I mean, when he's already moved up and he's right behind Cole, he's catching up.
That was his third lap being right there.
Dungey wasn't too far. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, he probably could have been a little more patient. But how close was he to Cole? He wasn't super close, right?
But here's the other thing. You got to look back at San Diego, where Ryan Dungey hounded him the whole time. So he knew that if he did not get within striking distance of Ryan before the last 5 laps,
He
then
wouldn't
he's
be able to
not going
win.
to have a shot. So it's like we need to start going now.
Step it up
So
now.
he needed to accept second place on lap 6.
Right,
Right. And ride with that.
Probably.
He won't.
No, I know he won't, but that's part of being a
That's part of being a
champion.
champion is-
Part
yeah.
of being a champion is being able to accept the days that aren't you're not going to get the win.
And no
But
one
he-
does that better than Ryan
he won the
Dungey.
heat race by 7 seconds though.
Sure,
So he,
sure, but there's days when you have to eliminate the risk, right? I mean, these guys are going fast now, so if you can eliminate some risk and go, okay, you know what, he's got me by like 7 seconds right now. I'm going to have to go crazy to get him. Maybe I should just chill, work on Sealy here for
There'll
the
be
next
another
5,
day.
6 laps.
I'll win next week.
Live to fight another day. It's easy to say that now, but
No,
Right.
right. But
part of the maturity and developing into the one of the greats is being able to understand those
Right.
nights. So yeah, he could have been a little less patient.
No one does that better than Dungey.
Right. I mean, Dungey sits and
Patience.
he waits for you to do something, and he's like, "I'm right here."
Oh,
yeah.
Come
My
on,
worst
some-
day will
come
be
on,
up there.
Somebody's got to give us a thumbs up right now. Come on, I want to see a thumbs up go by. Somebody like it. Somebody. Anybody.
Anybody?
Mom?
Thumbs up.
Dad?
Thumbs up.
All right, I want to get from you guys.
It was right at the
who
10.
do you think?
Jay said it was
Here
right
we
at
go.
the 10-minute mark. So
There's some thumbs up for you.
There we go.
someone's got a little Martin.
Thank you.
Got Dean Wilson for the fill-in ride.
I was just gonna say the 15 would look awful nice on there. Just saying.
15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's your pick for the
Money
fill-in
getting
ride,
to him
Brad?
like Stewart.
Kyle Shepard wrote money getting to him like Stewart.
Do you have an answer
I
to
don't
it
know
already?
about that.
I do.
You do.
You
For sure.
Bring
So-
K-Dub out of retirement.
K-Dub.
Brian Moss.
I don't know, but like who do you want to put on that bike? The thing is about Honda is that they don't really need to. The only person I could think of bringing someone on into that program is someone that they're already working with in Justin Brayton. Justin Brayton is on a factory Honda.
That's probably your most logical.
Yeah, because he's right
And
now
he already
running
has
Showa.
Yeah, he has
and
team bike already. I think.
That's right. He's
Yeah.
full team bike. Everybody, Dan Bentley, and all the guys over there are like they're going over there to work with him on Showa stuff. And they each have to run one has to run Showa, one has to run KOIB. I could easily see
Surf Rat.
Yeah.
Honda take that number 10
Surf.
machine, slide it underneath their truck because I'm sure the bike shows up with them anyway. And there
you go,
and
RJ.
just do
so
that.
that's your pick, Brayton?
I think that's my only logical pick, other than the 7. I
So
think the 7 should definitely.
There
be
has been an official announcement.
No.
That would be my
And
pick
they don't-
too.
but they don't
that
need to
makes,
put a bike there.
That makes the most sense. In Cowie's case with Monster stuff, they have to have a fill-in ride.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't talk about Josh Graham, by the way, who rode great.
Top
Let's
Cali
give
guy.
a little Josh Grant shout out.
And running fifth for a while. Like, great starts.
Yeah, he got
Coming
great
on
starts.
strong.
Got a killer start from the inside. Rode really good. If he wouldn't have went off the track with 2 laps to go, he probably would have got
Top
fourth.
five. Yeah.
So way to go, Josh. Way to go.
33 in your program and 1 in your hearts.
What do you got, RJ, on a fill-in?
I go for Malcolm Stewart.
Yeah,
because he was on a Honda last year, rode it great, did everything. He needs the ride, and he proved that he can manhandle. He got on a bike that he has ridden. So, but you got the politics of the Stewart family wanting to own their own team, and that's not going to happen. When you ride for Honda, you come under.
But it's kind of one of those things that they come to Malcolm. Look, do you really want to do all this? It's all expensive, or you can ride this.
If it were me and I was Honda, I would go to Malcolm and say, I'm not going to pay you anything.
James, you can use the sample.
But I am going to give you the most massive bonuses for heat race wins and main event wins. That is, you'll make more money than anybody if you perform. If you become nonchalant.
And early on, when the rumor mill part of the season, we heard that Malcolm was working with Factory Connection, going to be the same bike like Wyndham had.
To make that happen.
Yeah, they were trying to make that happen.
So that's what I would put on. That's what I would ask, and I think that you got a position because they had no branding that would let him put that guy's whatever 360 whatever it is
365.
Obviously,
Ride
James
365.
Ride365.com. I would say go ahead and put that guy's decal on the jersey and wear your own gear and come and ride for big bonuses. That's me. Who would you put on?
I think I'm with Brad. I think that the most logical move, you'll see Brayton move over to that bike, but then again, it'd be wild to see someone that we're not thinking about. I don't know.
So Dan, if you know,
there
we're
is
running out
someone
of
that
time,
you're not
so-
thinking about, and I think this is to me the most logical choice.
Will
I
Honda.
believe that Honda already has Brayton in Cole Seeley. They don't need another version of Cole Seeley. Cole's actually having
better
much
version.
better
Yeah,
results.
They don't need a
better
Cole
version.
Seeley. They have one.
The only thing that they can
have
do,
a Brayton.
Oh,
They have a
a Brayton-esque.
Okay, yeah.
The only thing
Someone
that they
like him.
can do
Yeah, yeah.
to really replace a Roxon, there is only one name on the planet that comes to mind for me.
Johnny Campbell.
It's not Johnny Campbell. It's a guy named Tim Geiser. If they brought Tim into the picture, he's already on a Honda. He's very good at Supercross. He's on the Euro Honda. If they brought him to America, and I hope you're listening, Honda.
With a Fox helmet or a just one helmet? I want to be
Call him up, pay him whatever he needs to get dealt with out of his Euro Honda contract.
They won't do it.
Get
They're
him
cutting
over
each
here.
other's throat.
Yeah, no kidding.
Hey, you're all one big family, and
He's used
Tim
to his
wants to
electric
come
start
to
bike.
U.S., and he is a bad man that would really, really shock and shake up the field here in the U.S.
Have you seen him ride Supercross?
Well, yeah.
So he did that.
Have you not?
He did that.
Well, I saw him in the sand race.
No,
Supercross,
there
whatever
was that Supercross Cup thing.
Yeah, it's a
And
sand race.
those were like really small.
Those are outdoor motocross
Those were amazing, and I think that Supercross tracks should go more towards that direction, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Cool.
I mean, and you're right. Tim Geiser would be awesome at that because it's an outdoor track inside of a stadium, like some of the ones when you first started racing.
They could scrub everything on that
flat
track. It was
jumps.
hilarious,
I mean, those. Yeah, I mean, it was.
He
Totally
reminds me of a young Bubba the way that he rides.
Let me just straighten this out. Tim Geiser would make a great addition, but Honda doesn't need to bring a guy over here to learn some Supercross.
No,
I think Geiser would do.
Here's
Here's the deal. Honda Japan's paying him to ride
Be
the
a world
GP
champion.
series, right? So if he comes over here and rides and doesn't do well and then gets
Hurts
hurt,
himself.
for instance, then
I get the
American
risk.
Honda's kind
those
of
guys get their series going right away, don't they? Like they're like 2 weeks out.
Probably starting in soon, like February, March. They're probably
July or
testing
something
and
like
stuff
that.
now
No
in Spain and
kidding.
all that. But
2 weeks away.
I think there's no way, Geiser. You're way out of your league on
Well,
this
knock
one.
some holes in his game, eh?
That's what I'm here for. I'm
I
here
think
to
it'd
throw
be
it
more
from
like
left
He's
field.
mixing it up, trying to mix it up.
I
but
think it would be more likely that Will Hahn comes out of retirement than Tim Geiser comes over from Europe. But
I heard they were
like
going to
And
call Ezra Lusk.
Tim Geiser's amazing, by the way. That dude's bad, super bad. But
Yogi Lusk.
in this case, why would you want to bring a guy over here to fill in that's kind of just learning?
Tim
He's never
Geiser will
raced
be here,
Supercross.
in my opinion, within the next couple of years, and
But he
he
has
will
to come
really
in
shake
full-
the tree.
Hashtag analysis.
Well, yeah.
I don't.
But
He'll
not
need to
this
practice. He'll need to practice ahead of time.
Can you imagine his
Yeah.
scrubs through like triples here? Like it's all the James at his fastest speed type stuff, stylistically.
Just hire the 7 if you're going to do that.
Can he go through whoops though? Like
He's
lots
strong.
of guys
I
go,
think he can. Yeah.
Yeah.
He probably
He's,
can.
he's tall enough too.
He's
that he
strong,
can make
yeah.
it happen.
Dino. Hire Dino.
Okay, so
15, yeah.
we got to throw our
15
top
would be
fives
good.
for next year for our Rocky Mountain Fantasy Supercross
Next
picks.
week.
Next week.
Hmm.
It seems like a year, whatever. Next week.
Hmm.
Everything got changed, and my picks, while I killed it with 35 points,
Me and
it
you
was dumb
both
luck
raised
because
through.
most of my guys with Seeley coming up and Cooper coming up and Roxon not finishing and Jason getting kicked out of the world for slapping somebody, that really threw my whole picks into a tailspin. I can't believe I pulled 35 out of it in the midst of that.
Yeah. You and I, Bulls, came way up the ranks.
Yeah.
You had Dungy.
Hey, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Story of my
Actually,
life.
most often it's better to be lucky than good.
I did it 28 times.
I did have.
I'm
Dungy
lucky to be here. I don't know if I'm very good.
I had Dungy for the win coming off, all that confidence last week of being able to hang with Ken right there till the very end. And I said I thought he was going to get a start and make something happen, and I think he would have won it anyway without the crash. So,
that was a track to do. That was a good call. Good call.
So you got your top 5 picks. Let's do that before we run out of time here.
I don't have them pulled up yet, but I can tell you it's going to be Dungy, Anderson, and I feel like Anderson's going to come back with a little bit of an edge and a lot less to lose and a lot more to gain. He's going to ride very fast and hard. And then I'm looking at Seeley for 3rd, and then I'm looking at Musquin, and then I'm looking at Tomac, and I don't know where the 12th place. Okay, I'm going to throw like a Baggett or a Millsaps in there.
12th?
Yeah, so
12th?
on our pick, it has the top 5 and it has a wild card. So
yeah, it's kind of like a guess who's going to be 12th sort of thing.
Guess who's going to be 12th?
I've already got my pick, so I'm going to go because we're short on the time. I've got Marvin for the win. I've got Dungy 2nd. I got Jason Anderson 3rd on the podium. Seeley 4th. Cooper having another top 5 finish in 5th, and I've got Brock Tickle in 12th.
Hey, pass the Dutchie, man.
MC, you ready?
To your left-hand side.
I still got no number 3 on there.
You ready?
Yeah, I can go ahead. I think Dungy's gonna make it 2 in a row, followed by a jersey untucked Jason Anderson. He'll just be twisting the throttle like crazy. Marvin Muscan will continue to be on the podium in 3rd. I think Cooper will be consistent again with a 4th place finish, and then Cole Seeley will round out your top 5. 12th. My strategy with this particular game is I choose whoever's in points in that spot on that particular week, rolling into it, and that's Dean Wilson. So 12th for Dean Wilson.
Oh, he's top 10 for sure this week.
All right.
I am going to put Cole Seeley in 1st. Marvin Muskin 2nd, and Jason Anderson 3rd, with Ryan Dungy 4th, with Cooper Webb in 5th. And my 12th place is going to be
Dungy.
No,
he said Dungy. He said Dungy. He said Dungy 4th.
Say Vince Freezy.
Yeah.
Because here,
We didn't talk about Bogle. He had a crash.
Let me tell you why. Because now all of a sudden he's got a point lead. But he's a machine, and I never count him out. But I think Seeley is going to. Phoenix, I think, will suit his riding style. I think Jason Anderson is going to be very strong, and I think Marvin also is going to be putting a little extra effort on top of it. What do we get?
Oh no, I'm loving like Kyle Shepard's comments on here. He's funny. He says McGrath, only guy who knows anything. He looks annoyed. That's pretty funny.
Tony
no,
Blazer
I'm
wants
not.
you to
I'm never
curb your
annoyed
hat.
with this group of guys. They're awesome. However, sometimes when you have picks like that, I get a little confused.
Well, I gotta mix it up. I don't want to just say the obvious.
No, I
You're
know.
going on instincts, though.
I think
what did we say?
Tommy
this is?
Hahn's
Hold
gonna
on a second.
win.
What is this game called?
It's a guessing game.
Fantasy.
Football. So
Yeah,
throw
there you
something out there. I want to
Yeah,
see
okay.
something different. I want to
Okay.
see Cole Seeley.
If we
have
all
a
pick
breakthrough.
Ryan for the win, we're all going to tie.
Right.
Fair enough.
No, I mean, look, we know what we're getting out of Dungy.
Exactly.
Right? So,
It's
like,
every week.
isn't it weird how when the guy starts to win, we have a guy that wins a lot. We want him to not win.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
You want to mix it up. It's just
But
nature.
nobody ever
It's human
booed
nature.
you, right?
I got plenty of booze. Like, it
in
was
the
weird.
midst of the heat
It ramped up in the beginning. I'm like, oh, cool, this new guy's here. Oh, shoot, he's winning way too much. All right, let's boo him for a while.
Right.
And then when you get second or third, second in a year, and then they're like, oh, man, we want to see that dude win again.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of one of those things where you're like, you can't please everyone.
Crowd dynamic.
So
All right, go for it.
my picks would be I think Marvin Muskin's going to win a race.
Yeah.
I think he's going to win a race. I mean,
25 machine.
I would love to see Eli do well. I think Eli's still fourth guy, until he figures out. Until we see something out of him, he's probably going to be fourth or fifth, I'd say. Cole's running good. Be good to get Cole and Marvin up there for a start. Dungy's going to be there in the end. He's going to be it's the top four guys are Muskin, Seeley, Dungy, Anderson, and then probably Tomac.
Is Webb going to be up in that area in your mind this
Well, here's
weekend?
the thing. I think this weekend they're in Chandler this year, right? It's not Phoenix. It's a big track, big floor.
Yeah, it's football.
I think the track's going to be pretty good indoors. Always get pretty good dirt over there. So I think we're shaping up for a good race.
What do you think about the track back where they go to the end zone, they go right across with a triple, and then right out of that next right-hander's another triple? They literally just go
Triples
triple,
don't mean
and
anything
then,
anymore.
Like,
don't.
you know what I mean? Though, like, it just seems like that's not going to be a spot where anyone does anything.
They meant something,
right? When you exactly,
Yeah.
when you're on a 125, unless you're on the pro circuit 125 at that time,
Yeah.
because then they meant you gained 2 seconds a lap.
That's
what
right.
they meant. Yeah.
What an amazing show we've had. Hey,
Man.
big thank you to Rico and the whole Wiener Schnitzel crew for coming
The
out.
Wiener fam in
Wiener
the house.
fam in the
So
house
good.
every week.
Yeah, boys.
And
That
we
was
love
underrated.
you guys. Thank you to Scoshi for
Thank
the
you,
Boom
guys.
Bottle pre-show. And thank you to Rockwell for the dime
Thank you for you
pieces.
guys
Nice.
having me out
And
again.
Got the
Thank
gold.
you to Jeremy McGrath's fans.
Yeah, thank you
on
guys. Thank you guys for
Facebook.
watching. Yeah, stoked.
And
Thanks
all
a
of
lot.
our fans, hey, don't forget to check us out every Tuesday, 6 to 8 p.m. Go to the actionsportshow.com. You can follow all of our social media at TE Action Sports, see what we're always doing. Subscribe to the podcast each and every week. There's always something cool in the mix right here in the world of action sports. So, hey, for all of us here in the Action Sports Show, have a fantastic week. Remember not to text and drive. We'll see you next time right here on
Thank you, guys.
Sports Show.
Take off, eh?
Oh, take off, eh?
Take off, eh?
No way.
You hoser.